Hello and welcome to episode 228 of Floating Through Film. I am your host Blake, and this week we are taking another break to be with one of our friends who has been on the podcast before. I think very recently for the Odyssey, and then also whenever Luke wasn't here one time, he was he came on for Barry Lyndon and Master and Commander.
Yeah.
But Sean,
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
we're doing two movies that he picked. Well, one movie that he picked, and then another movie that we all kind of love and picked kind of cumulatively. But
It's kind of his pick too, because he said, remember, he's like, I'm thinking of either doing Farhadi or Tarkovsky.
yeah, so it's basically both.
So,
Yeah, that's true. I was torn.
But it kind of timed
between
up well because me and Luke got to see Solaris in theaters
Yes,
this week.
yes.
So,
But yes, we're going to be doing Mir, Tarkovsky's Mir, and then Farhadi's A Separation. But before we get into anything, let me introduce my other co-host, Luke.
Hello.
And Danny.
hello.
All right, so we're going to be starting this week with Mir, Tarkovsky's Mir. I'm probably not the best to start out with this because I've only seen Mir once. I do love Tarkovsky, obviously. I've seen most of his. I think I've seen all of his movies actually. At this
Wait, so
point,
this is your first time watching it?
no, this is my second time watching
okay.
it. First time watching it, I didn't love it apparently because I wrote a review for it, which I'm glad I wrote a review because I don't really agree with it. So agree with it anymore.
So you're not going to lead it like someone else would?
No, I'm not going to lead it.
Yeah, I would never.
But one thing in my review that I did say is like I gotta come back to this movie in a better mindset or in the right mindset basically.
When did you watch it?
Way back in the day.
I've been looking.
Yeah, look for me. Although I am right here too. Let me look. It was probably like 2018 if I had to guess.
Oh, okay.
2019.
I think it's really funny how in this old review you put in your tags you put mirror as one of the tags. Like
The movie.
Yeah,
Do you have any other films listed under that?
He's gonna tag every movie as like their name. Like, was that your strat back in the day?
I have no idea what I was doing back in the day, man. I have no idea why I tagged this, but no, I obviously I came into this knowing what to expect because I've seen a lot. I've seen, like I said, I think all of Tarkovsky at this point, and I mean I loved it. Obviously, I mean, who does nature? There's very few directors that do nature better than Tarkovsky. I think like. There are just some moments in this where I'm just like, was he just waiting here just for this wind to come? Like, with the camera? Was he just waiting forever? Like, there's that scene where the wind, like, picks up and the guy turns around. I'm like, did this just, happen? In
Well,
scene?
apparently they used a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Get that deceptive effect on it.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
But let me ask
I'll
Sean. Let me ask Sean what he thinks of this movie because I know that you're also a Tarkovsky lover.
Yeah, so I was introduced to Tarkovsky by you, Danny, and you way back then, and I think my first film was Andrei Rublev, and I fell in love with his works. Like I knew I would. I'm pretty biased when it comes to Russian artists, or East European artists in general. And when I came across Mirrors, it was just beautiful. The review I wrote a while ago, it says, my second Tarkovsky film, and already I feel so much, already so much has resonated with me, with what he tries to convey in his work. In regards to this film, I understand his attempt to recollect and challenge memories we all carry, especially from the days of our youth. It hits hard, especially with the special attachment Tarkovsky conveys about the house which he grows up in, as I myself was born and raised in the same house throughout my youth and a good chunk of my 20s before I, got married and moved out. So it's very, there's like the depth, that's the thing I like about films and directors like Tarkovsky, there's depth to simplicity. It's not like pretentious, complicated, you don't have to be smart or anything. You just watch and feel.
Yes.
You really do feel. It's all about feeling something. And I just loved Mirrors because, one, the imagery was amazing. Cinematography, as always, with Tarkovsky is great. The special attention he made regarding Mariusha or Maria, who reflects Tarkovsky's mother in his own life. I felt like that actress did an amazing job, and the main character Alexei, which is kind of Tarkovsky in a way, his own resemblance. there's just so many cool little things if you like read about it, and just if you find copies, you can find them online of Tarkovsky's diaries and read stuff.
Well, I have some quotes too. That
Yeah.
I'll read in a second.
And there's just some
Well, it says in his book too.
Right.
Sculpting in Time.
sculpting.
Great
I haven't
title
read
for a
that one
book.
yet.
It's a great book too.
There's so many neat bits of lore you can learn about Tarkovsky himself and how his life is reflected into his films. It's like a mirror, is literally a mirror of himself projected through a film. What he remembers of his youth and growing up and things like that, especially during World War II when the Nazi Germany invaded Russia in 1941. And all these little details and the stuff about his father, if I remember correctly, throughout the film, the poems he reads, which I saved a bunch of them because I love the poems that he read in that movie. The narrator read in the movie,
Yeah.
but I think they were written by Tarkovsky's father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super cool detail. And
That
I was
was
like,
awesome.
they were just beautiful poems, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just...
Well, there's a website.
yeah.
You can find them all listed.
Mm-hmm.
All the poems in the movie.
Yeah.
Damn.
From his father.
That's
Translated
awesome.
English.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I need to get.
I can send it to you.
But anyways, to wrap that up, I'm always fond of his works, and I hold him and the writer Fyodor Dostoevsky
Yes.
right up there for me in terms of like artists and guys I look up to in terms of creativity, writing, storytelling, imagery, so things like that.
But I mean, it is like obviously Tarkovsky. He's a filmmaker in a very interesting time in Russian history, also.
Mhm.
So
Oh, and he was like,
which this was made whenever he fled to the Ukraine, right?
Well, it's before that.
Was it before,
before that,
Okay.
he went to Italy, I think.
Italy.
Italy,
He
okay.
fled to- but
That was like 1980.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And he had a hard time getting this film together. He did Solaris before he did this. He wanted to do this first, but apparently,
Wait, sorry, what were you?
well, I was just saying, like, he had a hard time, like, with the Communist Party and
Yeah.
the film officials,
Yes,
the
yes.
regulators of the film industry and
Yeah.
Soviet Union of getting this together. But then when he finally made it, he received a lot of criticism for it. It's kind of sad, but there were a bunch of people, like mostly the common folk, who loved it, who got it, who understood. But all the people who call themselves the intellectuals, and all that stuff, they were more puzzled by it or thought it was
Yeah.
hollow and things like that. There's a lot out there,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff you can
No,
read.
there is.
But anyway,
I mean, Luke, do you want to go ahead and give your opinion?
Yeah. This movie, I watched this twice in high school.
Okay.
And this was a very important movie to me because this was one of the first movies I think I loved that was like essentially like just like completely abstract. Like it was that early on in my film watching career, I guess, where like it was a film like that and that I actually like clicked with me. And it took 2 watches, of course, but that's still to this day what stands out to me because like it really just like it perfectly to me just feels like a memory and how it looks, feels, flows, and like I just love. That's mainly the reason why I love watching it so much. Like I love like all the textures and such, like sounds, the look of it, just everything. Yeah, it's just a beautiful film. I don't know. It's very. It speaks for itself, I guess. But yeah.
I agree.
A lot of the greatest shots of all time too. A lot of
Yeah.
those.
A lot of those moments.
Yeah.
I know, it's kind of insane.
And a lot of mirrors in Mirror, which is
I mean,
also pretty great.
yeah, no clickbait there.
Danny, what about you?
No, I think I gave it the same rating you did the first time I watched it. 3.5. 2018. Basically, I've like gave it a high rate every time I've watched it since then. Because like, I think, honestly, probably like a lot of people, like the first Tarkovsky I went through, I probably like Stalker the most. But then like honestly, the more I watch them, it's like almost like flipping for me, where I think I like Mirror the most.
I feel like Mirror's consistently been my favorite Tarkovsky.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch Stalker again. It's been so long since I've seen
I'll
it.
say, yeah, I guess I've
Well, I watched Lara Stalker in this one recently. I still need to watch the later two though.
Yeah.
For sure. But like of those three, and I literally think it's just because, like the other two still have like genre trappings, you know, where this one just kind of like just gives all that up, like
Yeah.
and like apparently in like while he was making Solaris, he wrote in his diary like he had this idea for Mirror, which he said was going to be his like most personal film, like his he saw it like he already saw it as like kind of his crowning achievement.
Yeah.
Or like that's what he was going for, and then even at the end of his career, he always thought this was his favorite film too, that he made.
I think it's his most personal. Definitely.
Yes. Honestly, that's one of the things I had because it's funny that like it's 100% true. This is a very personal film, but like one of the interesting things about how they made it was like Tarkovsky said himself that. He says, although it's like built on a lot of personal experience, he says the film is not directly about himself.
Yes,
he says something that you said earlier, that this film is not about himself, but it's just about feelings in general.
Mm-hmm. Memories.
And like yes, and he uses a specific word, feelings too, but like all of those are associated with that, right? And I think like the more I've watched this film, like I think that's why I like it more, because like the more I watch it, I don't even see it as Tarkovsky at this point. Like I just like see it as my own film, you know, where I think about my own memories, you know, so much, and just like I use it as my own mirror, you know, where it's like it doesn't like that's why it's like I don't see it as even an autobiographical film, because like at a certain point like it's so abstract, I can put my own memories and like my own thoughts that kind of just like
it's just the foundation that he wanted to build this idea, and what else but your own memories, right?
Like he rebuilt his own childhood home, like,
like, but it's like I like you like for when the opening scenes was shot like with his mother sitting on the fence. That's one of my favorite still shots of all time. I love that shot. But it made me think of like the way I would see my father and mother, you know, when I was like 4 years old. Like there's still these things anybody could have them regarding what circumstance you grew up in. You have these moments in your head, but you may not be able to like see their face, or like in his point, he talked about going around the house, but he never went in. Like he always had those dreams of his old home, but never going inside it. Like it's just neat. It's really cool to think
like how
about.
Memories are very like you don't get everything.
You don't get everything exactly, just bits and pieces of a broken mirror.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And like part of that idea of like it not being a purely autobiographical film, which I think a lot of people think, is he wrote this with his screenwriter. His name is Mishurin. And what they basically did was like they would each write scenes, and then they would give the scenes to each other, and then they would revise the scenes that they wrote. But like Mishurin says, like a lot of people like watch this film and be like, oh yeah, that definitely has to be a Tarkovsky, and it's like a lot of times it'll be his own memories, because apparently a lot of him himself is in this film too, but everyone just thinks it's like Tarkovsky's own memories.
Yeah, it's all Tarkovsky.
But I think that's a good point to make, because it's like it's not, you know, that's why this film is like and like I read this like kind of a essay about the film, about the making of it and stuff, and he points out how a few of the Russian critics at the time, they didn't see it. They read it more as a kind of mirror of just like Russian society at that time. You know, how like basically if you grew up during this time, it was like your kind of film, like very specifically.
Everything is meant to be, you know, some metaphor of the current state or societies or whatever, and when it's just something a lot more simple than that. You know?
Well, I think that's the thing. You can read it that way if you want.
Yeah, you can. True.
Because like he's like basically like a generation, like filming almost like how a generation, especially with the newsreel footage and stuff, where he kind of makes you think about the evolution of this kind of like what maybe like a young boy is thinking, like all these things going on at the time, you know, and her, like what her mother is thinking as well, like with these all like outside events going on, you know, mixed with these very like personal childhood memories, and then like there's one thing I wanted to read, because we were talking about this before the podcast about like entertainment and stuff, and because let me ask you this: do you think this film is entertaining?
Yes.
Because I think it's a very tricky word to say.
What do you mean by
that's
I mean,
very
that's
subjective.
what I'm asking.
It's
That's
very
what I'm asking.
subjective.
I would say
For me, it is.
Yeah.
But
For what I look for in a movie.
So
yeah.
which part is entertaining? Like, why is it entertaining?
The flow of
The
it,
visual poetry.
the hypnotic, the visual poetry. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me say what he says.
Stuff I
Let
look
me say
for.
this is what Tarkovsky says about his film. There are no entertaining moments in this film. In fact, I'm categorically against entertainment in cinema. It is as degrading for the author as it is for the audience.
John Cassavetes has literally like a very similar.
So then, what's
quote,
where's the gap? Like, what is he talking about then?
I think he's talking about entertainment in the classical sense of the
Like what?
like the Odyssey or something like
Damn.
that. Just like
Odyssey hate train.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. Oppenheimer says this film was the #1 influence for Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer said this was movie.
Nolan.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was gonna be really confused.
Okay. You know what I meant.
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In some ways, I can get it because it is kind of like Nolan's trying to put up a mirror to Oppenheimer, but trying to show the
certain
man
sections of the movie I can maybe.
It's like kind of the Coffee Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb situation. Like literally true.
Oppenheimer's
these
good.
guys,
Oppenheimer's good.
Well, because one thing that I love about this film is, yes, there's a central narrator, and it's his memories, but we never see him.
No.
Like imagine Nolan trying to do that, like a protagonist where we actually don't see, like that already is like a whole different level of formalism. That
They're also very different films.
like you bet why you brought him in the first place. Entertainment.
Yeah.
Like what's the distinction he's making? But this is where I'm like, this is the kind of contradiction that exists when like people say these words. It's like, well, I mean, I was still entertained while watching it. So let me find it. I'm gonna read a different quote now, where I think, at least to me, he uses a different word, but I think it's kind of the same thing. Where he says, "quote Of late, I have frequently found myself addressing audiences, and I've noticed that whenever I declare that there are no symbols or metaphors in my films, those present express incredulity. I am therefore puzzled when I am told that people cannot simply enjoy watching nature, when it is lovingly reproduced on the screen, but have to look for some hidden meaning they feel it must contain." And then, so basically that word enjoy, or it says like simply enjoy watching nature, when it's reproduced on screen. Like in that way, he's almost saying like you should enjoy it. It's like it's still entertaining.
That
Like,
is entertaining.
yes, exactly.
For some people.
But yeah, so it's like that's kind of what you guys mentioned, like the features. Most people, when you mention like visual poetry, that's not what they're thinking of when they watch a movie to be entertained by it. So it's like you kind of like you guys said. What do we mean by the word? And so then. I think I brought up money. I mean, I know I brought up Money Call before.
Yes.
Who's that?
But before I bring up his quote, I'm going to read, because I told you this book, it's actually not an essay, it was from a book called The Sacred Cinema of Tarkovsky by Jeremy Mark Robinson. Let me say basically what he says about the film, where he says, quote, "Mirror is a poem. This is the key to understanding the film. It is a cinepoem, complete with metaphors, allusions, references, historicity, lyricism, concrete and abstract images, a number of voices, motifs and symbols, autobiography, stanzas and refrains. If one thinks of mirror poetically, then the form becomes clear. The spectator has to make an effort to unravel the components of the film, has to fill in gaps and reorder the events, but it makes sense in the end." So basically this idea of like, you basically have to watch this film as a poem,
Mm-hmm.
The way like you don't expect like narrative cohesion or even entertainment, like the way you would like watch an action film or something from a poem,
Yeah.
But if you watch this film that way, you can enjoy it the same way you would enjoy a poem, where it doesn't have to make sense in kind of like a narrative sense.
I mean, it's definitely like very. I mean, it's the movie that I had in my mind the most probably whenever I watched this was 3 Layers about Lenin or whatever.
3 Songs to Lenin?
3 Songs to Lenin, the Vertov movie, or just Vertov in general, I guess. But
actually, I forgot to mention, because in the book he brings up basically directors that Tarkovsky like considered in his pantheon, and then also directors Tarkovsky really liked. I'm gonna list them off, but I feel like he would have liked our podcast. I'll just say that, because it's crazy how many people we've actually done on the podcast that he likes. So these are the ones that he considered his pantheon. Were Ingmar Bergman, Bresson, Fellini, Dovchenko, Kurosawa, Buñuel, Mizoguchi, and Antonioni. But then he also really liked Cocteau, Chaplin, Vigo, Ford, and Renoir, and Wells.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we've done a lot of those.
We have, yeah.
And we're about to do Mizoguchi, too.
He would have also loved, like, Apochypal, where's that called? Tarkovsky would have.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't, wait, is he, I mean, where is Seth Calls influenced by Tarkovsky, right? He says that. Tarkovsky inside.
I can see it.
Let me.
I feel like, because I mean, in
How
some
could he
ways
not
I feel
be?
like, yeah, in some ways I feel like he has to be.
But more importantly, the two directors that I just absolutely love that are directly, you could say maybe some of the biggest influences on them is Tarkovsky, is Chris Marker and Monty Call, that I just brought up.
Yes.
I mean, both of it, like, Chris Marker has a documentary about, like, some of the last days of Tarkovsky when he's, like, interviewing him at his house.
Yes. He also has a Kurosawa one.
Yeah, he does. He does. Like, literally in Sans Soleil, the zone is, like, a big part of it from Stalker, you know?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I need to watch that movie again. It's been a while.
And then, I'm kind of going out of order in my notes here, but, because I wanted to bring up, before the title Mirror, which I think is a great title, there was, like, a lot of titles they were considering. And, like, apparently the title that it was for the longest time was called The Bright, Bright Day. Or, like, another translation in English would have been, like, The White, White Day. I was like, I mean, I can kind of see The Bright, Bright Day, but it would be... I don't know, I feel like Mirror... It almost like the title changes, like, you know, Mirror's, like, such an important part of the title of the film, you know?
I guess when Memoria was coming out, or I guess this was last year, they did this, like, thing for artbasel.com where they selected some of their favorite movies. Or maybe to go through Cannes or something, I don't know. But one of the ones where something all picked was Mirror, and he said, Tarkovsky's pictures look like bits and pieces of a life that are moving through time. They stay with you like echoes of something that you can't reach. That can simply describe a dream.
Damn.
That's what he said about Mirror.
It's a great quote.
Honestly, like... Because, like, you know when you watch Weird Seth's films, you can't tell if it's autobiographical or not either.
Yeah.
It all feels out, and you're like, I actually don't know. Like, he could... You know, these could be fictional, but he's, like, almost treating them all like memories. And,
Yeah.
and then some of them are, like, obviously, like, he uses his parent, like,
Syndrome of the Century? Yeah, no, that...
And Tropical Malady feels, like, very autobiographical in some ways. But,
Yes.
Honestly, to me, like, I think Syndromes might be his most similar to Mirror.
Damn, I need to watch that one again. I know that because that has the husband and wife for, like, the marriage
Yeah.
too in it.
Although, of course, it's doing things differently, but
Yeah.
of course, because he's a different person. But anyway,
Well, it's because I was mentioning some other titles. So The Bright Bright Day, and then the one he liked better, but was called Martyrology.
Martyrology.
But then he was scared, like he wouldn't be able to get past the censors once they figured out what it meant.
Yeah.
That's what he says. It was cool. And then he says Redemption was maybe. He said it was actually Confession for a while too, but he calls it in his diary Pretentious. And then this is the one that I think was the best one that they were thinking about was Why Are You Standing So Far Away?
It's a long title, but that's a good one.
Yeah. Because that definitely fits the film too.
It does.
Because there is some distance between him and his mom like throughout the whole
Big
film,
time.
you know. And then another part, which is like how much of his family's in this film, like literally, is so you know his father. Sean mentioned that the poems are his father's, but it's actually his father reading the poems too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the older mother, like the one that basically plays the older version of Maria, the grandma basically at the end and stuff. That's Tarkovsky's real mother.
Yeah, which is crazy.
His stepdaughter plays like the red-haired, chap-lipped girl that we see, and then his second wife plays the doctor's wife when they go to that house.
Interesting.
Which is also interesting. I'm like, I wonder what she thought of this film because it's so much about his first wife, you know, like their divorce. I guess you can read it that way. So it's like because she was also like assistant director on the film or something too, which is interesting. And then okay, so I was mentioning that's where I was. So I mentioned how Jeremy Mark Robinson said this was like a poem. Basically, you should read this film as a poem, not like a novel. But another part he mentions is how documentary-like this feels at the same time. You know,
Yeah, no.
Where he calls this a film of acutely remembered places, which I thought was interesting. Where it's like he's trying to be very documentary, like with his memories, you know, where like
No, there's a historical kind of like viewpoint on it.
And so originally the conception of the film, like going, because he wanted to actually make this even more documentary-like, where his initial plan was he was going to film with a hidden camera, asking his mom actual questions, and then try to cut that with the movie. And then he said it wasn't working.
It's very Chantal.
Yeah. I'm like, there's, and I'm gonna, and apparently he had written down some of the questions he was planning to ask her, and I'm gonna read these now because, like, once you go through these questions, you're gonna be like, this actually explains the movie so well. Like, let me just read them. He says, he's gonna ask her such questions as, when did you begin smoking? Do you like animals? Are you superstitious? Are men or women stronger, do you think? Do you ever have friends outside your circle? Do you always speak the truth? What would make you especially happy now? Have you ever envied youth? What are your favorite poems? Are you capable of hatred? Which part of your life would you say was happy? What do you think about space travel? Do you like Bach? What do you remember about the war with Spain? Mm-hmm. What was the funniest thing that ever happened to you? Are you a good swimmer? Do you remember the day when you sensed you would become a mother for the first time? What is your favorite season? Have you ever starved? What do you think about war? What is freedom? How many years do you work at the printer? How many years did you work at the printers? And are you scared of the dark?
It'll be like, what's your favorite color? And then the next question will be, what do you think happens after we die?
Yeah. And the one I actually like the most is, do you remember the day when you sensed you had become a mother for the first time? So I feel like that's a basic part of the ending too.
I'm curious about this because they use footage from the Spanish Civil War during the late 1930s.
Yeah.
And I wonder if his mother was there working or a student at some time. That's interesting to think about. I need to look into that. When was Tarkovsky born again?
I want to say 1935, something around there.
Dang, yeah, I wonder if she was there as a student or something. Who knows? Because it was bad.
1932, actually.
1932.
Oh, 32, that's even, yeah.
In Zavraze, Russia.
Definitely not how you say it, but
No, that's how you say it.
I can try.
Luke confirmed.
I speak Russian in my free time.
Okay, so before we get to the movie, let me read, because I set this up in a way, because I mentioned how Jerry Mark Robinson, he points out how this film is basically a poem, and in a way is also very documentary-like. So now I'm going to read the Samani Call quote that I'm pretty sure I've read on the pod before, but he says, quote, "All my life, I've tried to find different ways to do away with a linear narrative. This is why I was interested in documentaries. I find the documentary form very interesting, and within it, the poetic documentary. In my own way, I've tried to bring poetry, documentary, and fiction together. We would call it the nonlinear narrative. And especially that idea of poetry, documentary, and fiction together, like, that's what this film is. You know, it's like all three mixed, basically in a way only film can do, you know, with images, like literal images.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes it, like, special. But, and, like, I think that's, like, why, like, at least for me, when I first watched this, like, in 2018, when I was, you know, very much narrative build still.
Yeah.
This is, like, the like, to me, Stalker and Solaris have more to hold on to because it still has those genre trappings. But then the more I've just, like, become, I've gotten used to watching these kind of films.
Yeah.
This one just, like, stands out way more. It's like, okay, it's actually gotten rid of all the other stuff in a way, you know? Which I still like genre in a way, but, it's like this one feels like almost pure in a way, you know. I hate using that word, but
We did.
but it does in a way, you know. I think that's why Tarkovsky saw like this is like kind of
Magnum opus.
magnus opus. Yeah, exactly. And then yeah. There's a quote from Deja Vu that this film also reminded me of. If you remember it.
Oh God.
Where one of the guys says, in a sense, we're always looking into the past. Even light reflected from yourself in the mirror takes some time to reflect back. So basically, yeah, it's like all memory in a way, you know? We live in memory.
Yeah.
It reminds me, this is kind of personal, but years ago, with my ex and I, we used to take photos sitting together in front of a mirror. The Walmart we worked at. It was during the shoe aisle, and there's a place where you can sit, and you have a long mirror, and you can see your shoes, your reflection, all that. I remember when we took photos together, and I would take him like holding it towards the mirror, taking a photo of us in the mirror. And I was always perplexed because when I look back at the photos, her and I were looking down on each other in the reflection. And I always thought that was weird. Like, it's nothing crazy. There's obviously, but it made me think, like, I don't know, like, the future, looking down, because obviously we're no more and all that, but it's like, for me, it's like a weird reminder of, like, there was that time where we looked upon each other in a way, and then now those days are gone. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but that's why I really stood out to me with Tarkovsky and mirrors. And you know, not only are you reflecting upon your youth, but you're also trying to reflect in on your now, the time you got left in this world, whether you're old or whatever the circumstances may be. There's only one snapshot of a certain moment then. And then the rest you take with you as a mere dream, as Tarkovsky puts it, you know. I just really liked it for that kind of emotional impact, for that kind of reflective impact, because I'm a very reflective person myself.
You're the thinker,
Yes,
bro.
you are.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm beyond. I know I'm helpless, but there's no hope for. But I just really like that, because I tend to draw back on certain days that felt like they were more colorful, more bright. They had a certain lighting to it and things, and I know I'll never get that back. And maybe that's an illusion. Maybe it's true. You know, for me, it will just be true for me, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know. And, anyhow, I like that sentimental kind of value Tarkovsky had, you know, on life, human, you know, reality in that way, that all of us can tap into, to some degree, one form or another.
I think we get into the actual film now. Like we should honestly just bring up your favorite moments and stuff, like. Because there's not like there's
it is like
there's not much.
There's not a narrative.
It's
really.
not a narrative, yeah.
I will say
there's
maybe just to explain some of the background, like to kind of get your like structurally in your head, like because it's not that hard. Like Sean said at the beginning, and this was what Tarkovsky would say a lot is about the film is like just don't overthink it. It's a very simple film at the end of the day. Just a guy recalling his memories, you know, and he has regrets about his past, you know. But it's just on such a formal level. It's very kind of the opposite, you know. It's like not simple and a formal level.
Mysterious,
but it's on purpose because he wants you to have feeling first. Like that's the big Bresson influence. So there's basically two parts. You know, there's the past, which is funny because the past actually has two different time periods he goes back to, which is 1935 and 1942. Because you can tell based on how old the younger Alexei is. Which year?
One of them is the war is going on in one of them too.
Yeah, well, I think it's a war in both of them.
Is there?
Yeah, because the father's even with the young Alexei, the father's already gone on a war. I forget which war it is. But
Well, that's the war of the
Russo-Japan.
No, when
That was in
it's 1941 when the Nazi Germany invaded. It could have been the Russo-Japanese actually.
Well, if it was
Well,
35.
because-
no, what about 1935?
Yeah, then it was
Yeah, that's
definitely
what I figured,
Russo-Japanese.
1935,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right. Oh dang, shit! I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Or maybe it was 19. But either way, they go back 1935 before, and then the present is in 1974, and that's basically he's cutting between those two time periods.
Yeah.
But like what I said formerly is like normally in a traditional film, when you cut to the back, it's black and white. You cut to the future, it's in color or something,
Yeah.
and
So-
you stay consistent. But this one, it's like changing all
So-
the
no,
time.
yeah.
You know, we didn't even mention how he uses the same actress for the mothers in both.
Fucking Boonwell over here, bro.
I mean, honestly, that's what I was thinking of. Well, he said he loves Boonwell. I wonder if Boonwell got this from him, though.
That is true.
That is obscure.
Well, they came out around the same time. I guess Screw Up to Desire was probably like half a decade later.
Yeah.
Or 4 years
77
later.
or something, I think.
77, 79.
Oh, it was 79. Okay.
It might have been 77. Anyway.
Yeah.
I love the transition. He transitions. I forgot which part of the movie it is, but he like transitions to the past during like the war or whatever. And he transitions through it between like the guy in the present starts talking about a girl, and the girl shows up, and she's like walking with the camera, and then the camera just forgets about her.
Yeah.
And now you're just in the past now.
Yeah.
It's just like she's just a way to. She's just like a vehicle to move to the past,
Yes.
which is kind of how memory works.
Yes, that's another key part of this film. The more you watch it, is you actually notice the scenes are connected way more, but they're connected like how memory works by association.
Yeah.
You know, so like the father's on the phone telling his son about the girl with the chapped lips.
Yeah.
Cut to that scene.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we're forgetting about her.
Yeah, and then like that scene just takes place with the fake grenade, and then we get the
Yeah.
newsreel footage.
Yeah.
You know? Like there's a certain logic to the film, but it's not a linear logic.
Oh no,
you
definitely
know?
not.
But yeah, I mean, let me ask you this: what do you guys think about the opening scene with the TV? Like, because it already started like Jeremy Mark Robinson. He puts it in a funny
I
way.
always forget about this opening.
Where, like, you could take all these scenes in the film and edit it a different way, and it would be a much more traditional film. And it wouldn't have nearly the same effect. And like the way he puts it is, like a normal film would have the titles first, then you would have a long tracking shot around. You would have basically have the scene with the narrator's apartment at the beginning, 1974. Then you would go to the printing work scene, and then you would go to the scene that starts with her on the fence.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a more linear kind of way to understand what was going on
Yeah.
from past to future. I mean, future to past. But in this one, he basically mix it all up.
Well, I wonder if the TV thing is inspired by Persona. The opening of Persona.
Actually, I don't remember the opening of Persona.
Although I don't know if that was necessarily a TV. It's some type of screen, and the kid's like. Anyway.
Well, I was talking. I mean, the TV part is cool too, but because I was just talking more about the stuttering thing. Like
Like
that's
the
the
stuttering
thing
thing?
I'm actually watching.
I saw
I saw an interesting interpretation, so I was going to say that. In a second.
Yeah,
But
I saw one. I just saw one too from a YouTuber I watched who covered this film. Well, for one, from what I understood, this scene was going to be at the end of the film originally, and then they reversed it. They made it the intro, and in kind of a one way, it's like kind of a reflection. Like I said, it's not a like we can all agree on. It's not. Tarkovsky wouldn't describe it as a biopic of himself, but in a way, it's like the stuttering boy being cured. Well, for one, that was actual real healing process that went on. It wasn't like
It's
an
kind of
acted thing. It
hypnotism
was an
thing, yeah,
actual
yeah.
real thing that Tarkovsky had the privilege to record and film a process of. So it was like a real thing, and apparently that's what they said. And it's like a representation of himself being able to finally convey clearly what he wants to mean through this film. That's, I don't know if I'm describing it correctly.
He found his voice.
No,
He found his
basically,
voice, yeah, through, like, you can see
I
it
saw
that way.
I saw one, like, basically a similar
It's
thing
an interesting
where,
view.
basically a similar interpretation of basically like an artist stuttering to find their voice in the Soviet Union specifically.
Oh, yeah,
Of
especially.
like, trying to get around, and then being
It
like,
was
this
so
is like,
restricted.
that's why I kind of like how it opens the film, because it's like, okay, I found like how I want to say this film, basically.
Yeah,
That's how it starts. But then, like Sean already said, like some of the greatest opening. I don't even think any of us mentioned this on the greatest opening scenes.
I was.
I hadn't
Well,
watched it in so long.
Because
not-
technically, it's not an opening. I mean, it kind
It's
of
not
is.
really. Yeah, it's not.
It's after the credits. It's right after the credits.
Yeah, I
It
guess
is an opening scene.
I forget it's an opening scene. I guess.
But it literally is insane. Like literally the first time I was like the first time when I watched this again, I was like, I don't think any of us mentioned this.
I want
before. I don't even know
to. I want a frame of that.
Because like
shot.
I just
that shot
forget
is-
it's an opening.
It's like
scene.
iconic.
Yeah, I forget it's an opening scene.
It's like
That's really the only reason why.
And just the way but like it's hard for me to forget that because this is actually how I always remember it starting. I always forget the TV stuff. Well, the TV
I
stuff.
honestly just
too.
kind of forget how it starts in general.
But they're in the field and just like
The whole movie kind of gets jumbled up in my mind. Like, there's not really any like linear. Like, I don't remember the linear.
Yes, I would agree, except for this first open. This one I'm saying, this opening shot.
But I just forget.
Because then he comes back.
Like, I remember the things.
Because they are beginning and end points of the film. It's like on purpose. It comes back to the same spot at the end of the film as well.
See, I even forget it does that. But yeah, anyway,
I love that shot, though.
it's an amazing shot.
Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of it's like a weird intro because you're like, oh, is this his dad or whatever, and then it's just this doctor guy.
Yeah.
That comes to.
It's how my dad would describe his grandmother, my great grandmother. It's special for me in that way because Maria, she was a very humble woman, hardworking, that quiet for the most part, and did what she had to do for her kids, for her family, especially while her husband was gone. My great-grandmother was the same way during the Second World War and everything. And when my dad knew her, growing up, she would smoke, scenes like that, just imagery like that, just quiet lady, smoking, looking out in the distance, thinking, doesn't say much.
Another guy flirting with her.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, because that's what happens in the scene.
Yeah. Was he a doctor?
This doctor, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. He was the guy who played in Stalker, right?
He's in like all his
and
movies.
Andrei Rublev. He was Andrei Rublev.
He's also in Solaris.
Yeah, he was the same actor.
I don't know, is he?
I mean, because he makes it.
He was
I
the
love
doctor in Solaris, right?
Yeah, he's in Solaris.
Yeah. He's also in the director of Come and See, his wife, Larissa Shapiko.
That's right.
The Ascent. He's in The Ascent.
Yeah,
he's like a villain.
I haven't seen The Ascent yet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, because he has that funny line where he's like, "It's nice to crash to the ground with a woman after
With an attractive woman.
With an attractive woman after the fence breaks."
Damn, bro.
It's like, dude.
This is like he's also. This is also very similar to his role in Stalker, where he just like starts saying philosophical shit, like about nature and stuff.
He's basically a Godard character.
But,
He's like
yeah.
sees a baddie and immediately starts philosophizing.
He's not as annoying as that, though.
Damn.
I could win her heart with this poem.
No, honestly, because he's only in this one scene in this one. He's a little more annoying than Stalker, I feel like, because he's the writer in Stalker.
He's also, isn't he like?
In Solaris, he's like the weird doctor.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, then it's just like we get some amazing shots of like how the camera just floats into the house, like it just kind of transitions.
The burning house.
The burning,
to the burning house.
That was
yeah.
a good shot.
Goddamn.
I love that.
I mean,
he
is underrating it.
Good is definitely.
He like teases. Like I love how he just like
It's
teases
just
it
like
through the
it's-
mirror, and then he's like, "You're like, come on, just give it to me
Yes.
fully," and then he finally.
Well,
does
the
it.
mirror shot might be the best.
All
shot,
right, bro. Okay.
We're like, what? I didn't say that. I don't remember saying that during watching the movie.
Saying
Give it
what?
to me fully.
Give it to me fully.
You said it, not me. Danny Joshua said, "Give it to me fully."
The burning house in the mirror might be the best shot, though. Not even the actual
Really?
suspect.
I mean, that's a good question for the end. I'm gonna what's your favorite shot of this film?
I don't know.
I'm gonna make you fucking answer. You rate your top fucking
Same
10
tier,
shots.
same
of the
tier,
film.
same tier.
No.
They're all the same tier.
It comes to me like, same tier. Like, they're all great. They're all great.
Yeah.
No, but literally every shot in this.
No absolute value of the image. Right? That's what Bresson said.
The rhythm, yeah, the rhythm.
That's my favorite.
Quoting Persona against him. Let's go.
Damn.
No,
but yeah, like this scene is so good. I think my favorite, maybe my favorite shot in the movie is like it's not even before we see the fire in full is when the two kids are at the door and they see the fire in just the distant background, just like barely lighting the image. It's just so good. And then we actually do get the fire. Yeah, like honestly, like. I don't think we get Money Call without this scene. Like, I'm serious. Like, in Mind of Clay, he does a very similar shot, and it's like, just the way he moves his camera. I mean, this is a signature of the whole film too. Just like how he moves his camera, where it's not just about narrative action. It's not like, oh, now the mother walks into the house, so we're going to cut to the mother in the house now. It's like, no, she's gone. Now the camera's just going to do its own thing while it goes into the house.
That reminds me too. This was so funny. I was watching the Oscars with some people.
The Oscars, damn.
And
I know you're an Oscar head. It's like Luke has an Oscar podcast, dude.
Outside, yeah. Oh, no.
That's why he's always tired when he comes. He's like,
No.
That's my side hustle.
But I remember they were playing like clips because I hadn't seen most of the movies of the Oscars. I was just watching it with them, and they were showing clips from A Sentimental Value, and there's literally just a shot there that's basically ripped from the scene. Like, it's the exact same.
The fire?
Yeah, like, just, like, the same placement of the camera.
Yeah.
There was something it might have been a burning building? I don't remember exactly. I remember seeing that being like, oh, shit,
They took me.
Yeah, they took me here, bro. But I feel like a lot of films are influenced by this.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I mean, it's one of the best fires in cinema history, I feel like.
Yeah.
He also has a great one, Sacrifice, right? His last movie?
Yeah, they had to shoot twice, because the first time they couldn't turn the camera.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Oh, well, that's another thing we should mention about this film is it's like so much about nature, you know.
Yes.
Like
Big time.
if you're like watching this for a story and not ignoring, like I mentioned that quote at the beginning about Tarkovsky, how much just the enjoyment of watching nature, like how much it's specifically about water and about fire, you know,
wind.
about wind, like
Well,
we already talked about before at the beginning, yeah.
if I can mention a quote on that, because I saved one from this movie. It says, "It doesn't matter. They, as in the plants, trees, etc., don't run about like us who are rushing, fussing, uttering banalities. That's because we don't trust nature that is inside us. Always is suspiciousness, haste, and no time to stop and think." I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was literally
exactly.
that was in the opening.
That's the
scene.
doctor's
the
the one
doctor
who
guy
says
said
Oh, was it?
He, like,
Oh, was
he
it?
literally
Yeah.
falls. He falls from the
That was
fence,
amazing.
says that line
Amazing
about the
quote.
attractive woman, and
Is
then
it-
he starts going on that.
This is a review I saved from 4 years ago.
Yeah,
now,
no, that's
so-
No, I love that.
but that stuck with me, apparently.
Well, I think that's Tarkovsky saying like, "This is how I feel about this."
Yeah, yeah.
That's what this film is.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's good.
But then so we get like some of these amazing, colorful moments, you know, with the fire and everything, and then it cuts to this like in a different context, like with different music, this would like look like a horror film almost, you know. With the house
hair?
falling and
Oh,
the hair. Yeah, when she's
yeah.
watching. It's like it's a poetic moment, but it could be creepy too. Like
well, it's like the
especially when the house starts breaking
No,
apart.
it's like
you know?
it's like the Ring or something.
the ring, yeah, or when she's elevating.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a
No,
lot
that
of
was a good
stuff.
shot.
He comes back to the shot a lot of like water dripping in the background on the walls.
I love that,
You
yeah.
know.
I mean, even in the burning house scene, there's like water dripping.
Yes, water.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that's,
that's
true
a
because
good
it's not even
point.
fire
Yeah.
only. There's also water coming.
It's like in the
from-
foreground
yeah,
and the fire's in
insane.
the background. Yeah,
It's insane.
that's incredible.
No.
Malik probably loved this movie too. Now that we mention it,
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
No.
Because I was actually going to mention Malik and I forgot that because like when I was talking about how like especially with the newsreel footage coming in, like
Oh yeah.
trying to combine like general feeling of like a universal feeling with very specific personal childhood memories,
Yeah.
you know, and like basically using film montage to do that. Where,
Yeah.
like especially poetically, you know, whereas
Yeah.
not through really a story. Yeah, like I wish Malik would actually say something. Maybe he hasn't. I just don't know. But
Look it up.
yeah, you gotta find it. I doubt it though.
Yeah, no, I mean,
He's probably like, "Oh, I've never seen it. I've never seen it."
yeah, he's like just lying.
You know, remember I found that quote where he loves Voyage to Italy, the Rust.
Oh yeah. We're not gonna get many more of those. Though.
But yeah, then we get that like so it cuts from that kind of like surreal moment with the black and white house falling scene to the first scene we get with in the apartment with the camera just floating around the house while he's talking to his mom on the phone. And like it's funny because it's like that's probably like in a normal film that's where we would actually see maybe the main narrator or something at that point.
Yeah.
But it's like only like the way this camera's like moving through the house, you know. We don't actually see him ever. And then he actually says a line that I think is a big part of this film too, where he says he says this to his mother. Where he says, "Words can't really express everything a person feels. It's like they're two people." And I think that's like a big part of this film too. Is like it's one of his regrets why he basically didn't connect to his mother enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
as he's looking back, like
Oh,
his wife calls him out on that too later on in the film, where he's like why don't you talk to your mother? You know, basically. But then we get the an interesting scene, which is the printing press, where she like freaks. We don't learn initially why
Like her
she's scared.
coworker.
Yeah, but she's scared that she had a misprint in the paper that got printed.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, and they never tell us like she whispers it to her like what she thought the word was, but we never actually learn.
Yeah.
But it's funny because apparently, like some critics have said, this was probably based on a real event that happened at the time, which was apparently. So Stalin is Stalin,
Yes.
but in Russian there's like a word that's Sralin. So instead of a T, it's an R, which is Sralin, which means shit basically. And so some guy literally, I guess I don't know if he was doing it on purpose or not, but he called him like a man of shit instead of man of Stalin or something. And this guy literally got arrested. Like 8 people got arrested because of it.
Jesus.
R and T are right next to each other on the keyboard.
No, yeah, but apparently, like that's.
But
what
also,
this is probably
like,
based on a true.
Or are
event.
they
Like,
next
she
to
would
each other
actually
on a
freak
Russian
out if,
keyboard?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is Cyrillic.
Yeah. Which is weird.
That is
Like,
also
it's part of this part, like
really funny.
especially if it was,
But
This
in
kind of
those,
regime.
in those days, people were working so hard, so work deprived. Work deprived.
Sleep deprived.
Sleep deprived. Yeah, imagine. I don't know. That could be an honest.
We're not working enough.
Yeah, we're not working enough. Not making those tax dollars.
no, but it's more just like the pressure they were under.
Exactly.
where
Oh yeah.
especially
Well,
this
especially
regime,
during
that's why she was freaking
that's
out,
something. My Hungarian side of the family would. I wish I knew more personally, but hear about under the communist regime at that time during the 50s and up until 91. But there was just a lot of stuff you had to be aware of.
Yeah.
There's some pros to it, like.
No,
It's
but they're
interesting,
definitely,
but there
like,
was a lot of. I mean, most of my.
You don't have freedom of speech. Or
My
the
well,
press,
my
yeah.
grandmother, my great grandmother that I told you about, one of her brothers were shot by the Russians when they took Budapest because he worked on a radio station, and they were, right before the Russians took over. He was shot. Him and everybody else in the radio because spreading misinformation, right?
Oh dang.
And a lot of other horror stories we
mean,
heard, the Russians did. But it was just product of the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
not my time, but scars that are carried over.
Yeah. No, but this scene is interesting. Like the way it's shot too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like even like different black and white shots in this film and this scene have different colors because they actually literally had to use different film stocks
Oh,
for like
really?
different shots of it and stuff.
Is that why?
And it's
I mean,
funny
one of
'cause,
my favorite shots in this is whenever she walks in and you just see all the lamps. Like, they're,
I know,
they're so
I know
insane.
exactly what you're
Like,
talking
it's
about.
such
I know
a great
exactly what you're
shot.
talking about. Yeah, when they first walk in, yeah. But like it's funny because Tarkovsky said, yeah, we were doing this on purpose. Like a lot of the cuts from black and white to color, but like because his cinematographers for both Mirror and Solaris, because he does the same thing in Solaris, cutting back from black and white to color. They both said it was because they didn't have enough money to film all in color, so they were having to film in black and white too.
Yeah.
But it's like
That's
it's just
good.
like that's like one of his like essential parts of his films.
Yeah.
It's like that's all I think about. It's like how he mixes those two, almost just based on feeling. There's not like really logic to it. But yeah, because like there's also like a weird like slow motion, like the way the camera's like going in like kind of slow motion as it's following them as they're like going through the printing press. It's just like very. It's like everything is just so like heightened, even these like normal kind of moments.
Well, I think that's the thing I love the most about Tarkovsky is that he lets the frames breathe.
Yes.
For a time. Like I love the shots, especially with Maria. Like if she was messing with her hair
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And I like,
Yes.
just as a dude, I'm like, whew,
I know.
man. I'm like, but it's there's like this
Yes.
peaceful beauty to it.
Yes.
Just letting this one camera shot without panning out or anything. Just sit and breathe. You see the actress or the actor's face. You see the emotions in their eyes.
Because one of the shots,
And that's all the more reason I have to praise like Russian actors and actresses. Like their acting skills to me, some of the best I've ever seen. I don't know what it is. It could be. I think personally, it's because of a lot of people, especially in those days, their life wasn't easy. Most people grew up in farms or grew up in poor homes, worked their rear ends off to get to where they are. So they can tap into that emotion easily, as opposed to people like me, who grew up in a very easy living. I don't know what it's like to farm every day of my life, or to get mugged, or the risk of getting mugged every day of the week, or something. Like I don't know that fear, so I can't tap. I don't know. That's just me, but
I think you're probably. I mean, because a lot of these people will grow up in the same environment.
yeah, that's just what
They
makes
have
it
that
special.
Russian sadness on
Yeah,
them,
what's
The
that
classic
meme?
sadness.
It's like French novels will die for love, English will die for honor, and then Russian novels, I'll die.
I'll die.
Something
That's
like
funny.
that. It's true though.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, one of the funniest lines in the movie is like where this like lady that just starts like ripping her.
Yeah,
about
she
this
does.
Libyetkin. She's quoting Brothers Karamazov.
No, it's the Devils.
Oh, was it the Devils?
Yeah,
was Libyetkin the Devils?
Yeah.
Stop quoting Dostoevsky. Speak.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the drunk captain from Brothers Karamazov. So. Or was it? I can't. No, it was Possessed. I'm sorry. Yeah, or Demons.
That's what I've only read it once. So.
Yeah, Libyetkin.
Yeah.
He was in Demons. Yeah. I love that part. Stop quoting Dostoevsky and just tell me what you're saying. It's like,
and then starts ripping into her like, you're a shitty wife.
Yeah, you're a horrible mother.
Husband,
you're a horrible person.
Your husband was lucky to leave you.
Yeah. He's lucky he got sent to Manchuria.
She's literally like, I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was hard. Like, and the scene where she showered afterwards to like...
the water stops working.
Yeah, and she's
it's like everything's going wrong for her.
Everything's going wrong. Oh, it's so sad. Yeah.
And then honestly, one of my, at least the next scene I have in my notes is where she's talking to the ex-husband, but it's like she's only looking in the mirrors the whole time while she's like walking around the house, and we never see him. You know,
that's kind of something. Yeah, it's like an interesting theme, and the next film we'll cover. Separation kind of does with windows and not mirrors, but yeah. I will get to that.
We'll talk about that.
There's also since that's his wife, right? And then. His wife and his mother are played by the same actress, right?
Yes, so now we're in the Natalia time. So I should mention
that could be a Freudian thing too.
Yes, I mean it's just like on so much of Freudian. It's like almost like you don't want to say it.
It's
like the Buñuel thing. It's like he's obviously doing this on purpose. Even though I don't like. I bet Tarkovsky didn't like psychoanalysis either. But
I don't think to that degree though.
Yes,
like you can have likeness and similarities, but it doesn't have to be sexual.
But that's why I think it's about it's more about the feelings, you know, instead of just like over intellectualizing, like maybe Freud might have done or something. If he's, because it is funny, like one of in the Jeremy Mark Robinson book I was reading, he mentions how a lot of critics, like Tarkovsky says constantly, I want it to be about feeling. You know, I don't want you to over intellectualize it. And then the first thing like critics will do is like read the symbolism into the film. You know,
and that essay I watched on YouTube, the guy brought up a point where Tarkovsky, was after the film was viewed, he was there with an audience or something with smart people, and after the film they just debated with him up until midnight, and eventually the place had to close, and the cleaning lady, as Tarkovsky described, a woman who's not very educated, she's old, but she blurted, because she was getting tired, she's like, you guys need to go. Like, go home. But then she was also saying, like, what is there not to understand about this film? Like, because she saw it while she was, there cleaning and all that. But she was saying even she understood it.
There's a quote too. She actually explained it. I forgot.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the story.
It's crazy, but it was fun. And Tarkovsky was happy. It was like, this is what I mean. It's not something you just make into a complicated thing.
Yes. No, that's why in this book, Sculpting in Time.
Okay, yeah, I found it. Okay. The cleaning lady said that mirror was about a man who caused pain to the people he loved, became sick and feared dying, and wanted to ask for forgiveness for the hurt he caused.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarkovsky was reportedly stunned because she understood the core meaning instantly.
Yeah. It was like, thank God. He was like, thank God you're here.
Because in his book,
I need to go home and sleep.
I was going to read one of the quotes at the end, but he quotes multiple people, and he's really proud of this. Of like, he will say specifically, working people will send me letters saying how much they love the film. Because and I get that, like, because of the formal elements, like, a lot of people might see this as a pretentious film only for intellectuals and stuff, or only people that like art cinema, quote unquote. Or
I know people who talk like that, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, well, why is everything seem pretentious? Why does it seem pretentious?
I hate that. Like, we know that we hate that criticism here.
Yeah, we know. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
like there's nothing pretentious about it.
No, especially this. Like, it's supposed to be a kind of aesthetic experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, like go back to the scene though. I do love just the way they talk. Like. With her just looking in mirrors constantly, like like you said, she's always messing with her hair and stuff. Like that's probably something Tarkovsky was thinking about specifically.
Vanity.
Yeah. Because they're talking about like why they got divorced and stuff, and then like it just cuts almost like because we do get the scene with the Spanish like people in the room.
Yeah,
I think it's like another one of the.
Oh yeah, with the flamingo dance.
Yeah, so the flamingo dance and like these like Spanish people.
And then the girl gets slapped at the end.
Yeah,
that scene was
it's just like that's where it feels like such like a memory because there's like no logic. Like, why did that happen? Like, it just
throws me off guard because it was such a nice dance and it was neat to see, and it was like this beautiful girl dancing, and then the smack at the end. I was like, what?
There's a lot of like it's just like a lot of shots in the film. You know, because like it's actually like. So in a way he uses that shot a lot of times with the newsreel footage in general.
I love that.
Where like it's literally later on in the film where we get like the painting like winter shot of the his name is Bruegel.
I think I've heard of him.
I think he's Danish painter. It's his painting called Winter with the snow and stuff. When he's like when the kid's like walking up to the camera with the whole like dots in the background, you know.
Oh really?
And then it cuts all of a sudden to like this loud newsreel war footage, you know. It's like he does that a lot in the film, where all of a sudden he just like jolts you out of like with a loud sound, you know, from a peaceful sound all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, this is like honestly some of the greatest, some of my favorite shots in the film are these like old I guess they were like Soviet balloonists.
Oh yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah,
That's
where
crazy
they're watching
shots.
these like the crowd watching these like
atmospheric balloons.
Yeah, and there's like
He also has a guy in an air balloon
in
in Andrei Rublev too. I don't know. He loves these things.
Yeah,
I do need
He
to
did.
watch
Which I mean,
it.
too, it looks
intro.
cool as hell. Yeah.
that was the opening of the movie.
I was
I
just
don't blame
thinking
him.
of these guys though. Like,
Also,
what's the
Malik
depth
loves
of
hot air
this?
balloons as well.
Nothing to lose.
Which film is the
Song to song. I
Song
think
to Song.
has-
Do they go to like a place where there's
Yeah.
and also Money Call and his short film Before My Eyes has an amazing hot air balloon scene. It's insane.
We need more hot air balloons.
True.
In cinema.
And literally, the reason why Tarkovsky said he put that scene, those shots in the film were just because he thought it was extraordinary material. I was like, that's the only reason. It was like, he was like, this is cool shit.
The next Tom Cruise Mission Impossible should have a hot air balloon. Yeah,
Is he not already?
I don't know, dude.
I feel like
That's actually a
might
good
as well.
idea.
Why
Or
not?
honestly, Fast and Furious.
I mean, he does everything himself.
I feel
what if they have
has.
like
I feel like he-
in Fast and Furious they have like a hot air balloon fight or something?
And the hot air balloon has a labeling family.
Yeah.
Hot air balloons aren't that fast though. That's the only bad thing.
That's the only bad thing.
Because like Tom Cruise, he does things on like
Dude,
planes,
just make a
helicopters.
movie about the Hindenburg. That'd be a movie.
That'd be a movie. I mean, it would all be CG nowadays. So.
Oh yeah, true. That'd be a disaster.
No one
Let's
would,
get an
no one would
actual
actually
Zeppelin.
crash
I
it.
need people to actually burn alive, you know.
Yeah,
in
Let's
this
get an
shot.
actual Zeppelin and blow it up. Like,
Who's willing to sign their life away on this? You know.
Yeah, it's like it gotta be Nolan. He's the only one that could get funding for that.
Oh god! If Nolan did a movie called Hindenburg, I'm gonna cry. Yeah.
From excitement.
No,
from excitement.
from fear.
He would actually crash it and like crash it correctly, probably.
He actually
So-
would practically, maybe.
Because
That's
he,
why-
I don't know
But
how
the explosion is just a little.
Like, how do you even like make a movie out of that though? Was it really that exciting?
No, I'm not. I'm not the one saying it should be a movie. I'm just saying what.
Oh,
if.
I do want Nolan to make a disaster film. I think he'd be good at it.
And the Hindenburg is the best choice. It's a slow death.
Maybe.
It's
you
a
don't
slow
like
death.
you don't like Dunkirk, I don't think, though, right?
That's not
it's
really-
kind of a disaster film.
It's a war film.
It's also
war film.
it was a
disaster
it was a
films?
disastrous occurrence
Okay,
for the
all
British.
right,
So
all
a
right,
disaster
all right.
situation.
Carrying on, let's
He
carry
means
on.
like
Get out of here.
you mean like a Roland Emmerich movie or something like.
Something like that, yeah.
He wants like an Alien movie or something from Christopher
Alien?
Nolan. Not Alien, but like just like a World of Worlds situation from Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan.
Maybe
With
maybe
Tom
not on that
Cruise
scale,
again.
I don't know.
With Tom Cruise again.
All right, let's keep.
Wait, did you ever watch World of Worlds, your punishment movie?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh fuck! I forgot about
I
that.
forgot about that too until I
We
brought
all
it
forgot
up.
about it, so it's unfortunate.
Oh,
Sorry,
that'll be
guys.
happening next week.
Next
Let's
week.
go.
Next week.
I'm excited to see what you think about it.
Until you forget next week.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It took me 3 weeks to remember it. So.
Okay, let's go back to the movie. I mean, another key scene I have is the kind of like weird moment when he's alone in his house. The kid now. I think it's Alexei. No, it's Ignat. I think Ignat is the younger boy.
Yeah.
In the present timeline, when he gets left at the house, and then all of a sudden,
Isn't he the son of Alexei?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I
Ignat.
thought.
Where he's alone in the house. Yeah, after his father calls him, or I think before his father calls him actually, where she's like, "Your grandma's gonna be here soon," and she comes to the door, and he doesn't recognize her, and she just walks off.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's like such a random because you're like,
It's
why would
such
he
a-
not recognize her?
Yeah. Who are you?
No, because she says like I'm at the wrong place too. So they basically both don't recognize each other.
You're blind, Grandma. You're blind, Grandma.
In Tarkovsky years later apparently even said he's not even sure why the mother doesn't recognize the place.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even he couldn't even explain like why she just goes on. He was like, oh, I guess it'd be a kind of a surreal moment.
Unsure of herself.
And then honestly, just one of the the most Tarkovsky moments in the movie is like maybe the most dramatic music we get in the whole film. Is I don't know if you remember this shot where like after that kind of like teacher that just like randomly appears and makes him read that Pushkin letter when she disappears, the condensation from her cup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just disappears, but it's like the music crescendo is like super loud. You know, like it would be like it's like two very like this is like such like a normal kind of moment, and then it's like dramatic music like
it's
like
an
epic
you're
moment,
using on
you
this
know?
one, like
Yes, exactly. But it's like that's what Tarkovsky does. Like he makes that part feel epic though, just from like the thing disappearing. You know.
It's another kind of like horror scene in this movie.
Yeah,
too,
he doesn't necessarily.
Honestly, yes. Like the way it just smoothly transitions from like him closing that door to turning the camera, and all of a sudden she's there.
I mean, he doesn't get very dramatic that often anyway. Like I think Solaris is probably his most dramatic movie,
and that's like anti-dramatic.
Yeah, like it's just like but it's only in a certain few moments.
Yeah.
Ivan's Child is.
What was the name of the guy's name in Solaris?
I don't remember
Lean.
too well.
I don't
It's been a while.
know.
Because I remember the way the woman says it. Lean, no Dean. I can't
I
remember.
don't think
his
it's
name.
Dean. No.
No, not
Might start with
Dean.
a
I said
L.
Dean. Dean.
Dean?
Yeah, Dean.
It
I don't
sounds the
know.
same. Bro.
Dean.
Actually, the
No,
most dramatic
there.
moment of this film is the next scene with the grenade.
Oh yeah,
But even that is like a fake
it's
dramatic
Chris
moment.
or
you know?
Kelvin. Chris Kelvin.
Yeah, she
Kelvin.
Or
She
Chris.
called him, yeah, Chris
Chris.
Kelvin, but she called him something.
I remember her name more, Hari.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bleen.
But I do like this fake grenade moment.
Dean.
Yeah, because it's like, I had forgot. I rewatched this twice recently, but the first time I rewatched it, I forgot. Like, I thought the grenade was actually about to go off. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because even the way he filmed it is pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
When the camera just like follows him, like, and then it stops on a close up, and like, and the kid in the background yells, "It's a fake" or something.
It's a training grenade.
Oh, it's a training one, yeah. But it's funny because it cuts to that scene with the, like I mentioned earlier, the father's talking about this girl that he was in love with when he was at Ignat's age. And that's how he cuts to this almost like really scene that has nothing to do with it, you know? It's kind of funny. And then like another great kind of newsroom moment is apparently this is, you know, this shots where like they're crossing the water. Like all the soldiers are crossing the water and it looks like a bitch to go through.
Yeah.
This was apparently crossing Lake Sivash in the Crimea in 1943. And so apparently the cameraman was killed on that same day he filmed that.
Damn.
Shit.
Yeah. And he says most of the people in that video were killed like during that same time. Which
What
is crazy.
happened in the Crimea again?
Well, you know that footage of we were watching all these
Yeah.
people walk through?
Oh, in that old reel.
Yeah, the old reel
they
we were
got
watching
it.
all the people walk through the water in
Yeah.
the tanks and stuff.
Yeah,
He says the cameraman died that same day.
Yeah, that. Okay, I thought a cameraman in Tarkovsky's.
Oh,
career.
no.
No, that's a scary. Like,
No, they did die in Stalker
Oh, really?
from radiation. Yeah. Tarkovsky himself died because of that. Really.
That's a theory. That's a theory.
I feel like
can see it.
It's very- it's
multiple
yeah.
people on that
Did they
production
actually
got-
film in Chernobyl?
It was at some like nuclear
Pripyat?
waste thing, because like they had to shoot the movie also like multiple times because like the radioactive
Well-
materials corrupted.
Well, when
the
was
film.
that Stalker films?
79.
79.
Oh,
79
that
is
was
when it came
before
out.
Chernobyl then. Okay.
Yeah, so it was in a different, but they were
Maybe
they
it
were
was
filming
like-
like near like radioactive waste, and like in like
Oh,
like
shit.
water and stuff that was like definitely polluted.
That's
Yeah, multiple
crazy.
people suffered because of that on the crew, including Tarkovsky.
But that's like the crazy. Like if you look at most of the photographies from like any wars from the 20th century,
Yeah.
and you just see the faces of some of those guys there, dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like, or there was some, even modern day you can look at, and then if it's obviously much more well documented today, but then you'll read, later that day, this guy died,
Yeah.
was shot in a stray bullet, hit him in the jaw, and he was killed, a few days later. Or whatever. It's just...
No, and I think like
anyways,
that
sorry.
relates to. This is like it was something we talked on the podcast before, but this is true with all cinema because even with someone, if you're filming someone happy, you're still filming someone that's going to die. You know, that's why, especially when we watch films from the distant past, in a way, everyone in that film is dead. You know, at a certain point. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, but there was a Cocteau quote that Jerry Mark Robinson mentions, where he says, "Cinema is the only art which, quote, films death at work." Which I thought was interesting.
Which Cocteau has many movies about that.
Yes.
So.
Where it's like basically where he says like movies are filmed death. You know, you're basically filming death in the process.
That's true.
And that's like in a way with memory too, like us trying to go back to that. You know? Trying to recreate it in a way, like the same way film does. Especially the images part, which is so powerful. You know, where it's not just words. You know, like the way you recall images in your head. But like this is kind of some of the, like just the way this white snow background fits, because I don't even think there's snow in the rest of the film really, or maybe during the grenade scene, but like
the training,
we don't see like this all of a sudden it's cut to this pure white shot. It's just like for how it fits in the rest of the movie, it's just crazy. And then like he references this painting in Solaris too, this Peter Bruegel painting.
And then Kirsten references
yes,
it.
absolutely. This painting's been referenced a lot in cinema too. It's a very recognizable painting. But creating it at this scale is kind of crazy. You know, now we're just doing a CG, you know. Actually, that's kind of part of 24 frames, which is funny about it, is he does use CG in that one. He uses it. He basically like literally starts moving stuff in the painting, you know. But then it cuts to newsreel footage. Then it cuts back to this kid with kind of like maybe just the most like randomly poetic film moments. It's like when he just this bird just lands on his head.
Yeah.
And then he's like he picks it up, you know, off his head. And I guess he's gonna reference that later because like that's
How much do they pay the bird?
Yeah, this is a well trained bird. Honestly.
10 rubles.
10 rubles. He did it for free.
Did it for wheat.
Then Mao Zedong shows up.
Yeah, we get the newsreel footage of basically Mao's China.
Yeah, Mao's China.
Where
I remember that.
Yeah, this was especially for the Russians. This would have been a big part of their history too. You know, just
big time.
basically seeing China develop at this rapid pace all of a sudden.
That was like the time the barrier between like the relationship between Russia and China kind of just split.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of fundamental differences. Yeah, so it's sad because like people don't think about this, but they think Russia is just strictly European. It's just as involved with China, India, Japan, Korea.
It's mostly Asian.
Yeah, you know.
I mean that's because most people think of the Western side,
Persia.
Well, I think isn't that referenced in this movie?
Pushkin,
whenever
it's the Pushkin letter.
the Pushkin letter. Whenever they're talking about the West always likes to think we're part of them, but we're just as much part of Asia because we stopped them.
Well, my wife has a friend who's from Russia. She talks to him still today. He's a really nice guy, but he's a big history buff. You know, like so I get along. But he likes to send photos of museums he visit. You look at their armor, their swords in the medieval period and beyond. No different than Persian, no different than India. It's similar, like the Hungarians, ancient Hungarians. Same type of weaponry, same type of clothing. They're just as connected to the East, more so than Europe. In fact, European, especially like in Dostoevsky's books or Tolstoy, why do you think the nobility only speak French?
Yes.
Because they're trying to develop that relationship only later on in their history to get along.
Well, and that's part of the
West.
Pushkin letter because he's like Pushkin's making the point like we don't have to do that. We have our own history.
Exactly.
That's not like that's basically as rich as the West.
It's
you know,
just to be accepted by the big powers in Western Europe.
Yeah,
you know,
that was a big
England,
debate in
France,
Russia,
Germany.
That was a big debate in Russia. It was like, do we need to like Westernize ourselves?
Yeah, it's huge. Well, and my wife would tell you there's like a lot of Russian words you can find in Sanskrit, and a lot of similarities. You know, and I'm sure the Chinese and Koreans could say the same thing to some degree. It's cool. Anyway, sorry.
So that's why I like Bertov's A Sixth Part of the World.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see a lot of the Asian side of Russia, which, I mean, even our Western media, we only think of Russia mainly of Moscow and, you know, maybe St. Petersburg or something.
Yeah, St. Petersburg.
And those are more like...
Well, St. Petersburg is pretty far west, I'm pretty sure. It's further west than Moscow.
That's why, like...
I think. But it doesn't really matter.
I mean, like, think of that scene in Andrei Rublev with Tarkovsky, like when that one prince sided with a Golden Horde, war party that came up to help him raid that city. Because at that time it was after the Mongol Empire, so it was just known as the Golden Cognate. And what I'm trying to say is that they have a lot more history with the East. They know the languages, they know the cultures more, and so on, more than the West. The West is like a much later thing, for Russian perspective, at least I think.
Yeah, and that kind of just to go back to the films, like they've always been halfway, in between. They've always been both, but
between two worlds.
And honestly, this next scene though is one of my favorite. In a way, like it's kind of crazy how much he time jumps back and forth. Is so simple as because I always complain about on this podcast like how directors are really lazy about the shot reverse shot, just to film dialogue. But anytime Tarkovsky uses it, it's just like it's like literally the exact opposite, where he's like time jumping, So like that shot where you see Natalia, so she's the present day mother, on the ground. She looks up, and then it cuts to a black and white shot of Alexei's father looking down.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to, and then after that, so we've gone from present to past just with the shot reverse shot. And then it cuts to back to the present. Now we're seeing Ignat and his sister in the forest, where they're talking about how he stole that book.
Yeah.
So just with 3 shots, he's timed on 3 times already. And then they start running. That's when they hug.
They hear their dad. Yeah.
Yes. But I think the father they end up hugging, I think it's another cut because it's not like, because we never see the actual Alexei.
Yeah.
We only see the father. So then, it's Alexei as a child then hugging the father, I think. It's just great. Basically, like the time jumps, and it's such a simple moment. Like you might not even be reading it. You used to be like, oh yeah, this is all one moment, one continuous thing. He's actually cutting across the times, which is just crazy. And one of my favorite shots in this scene too is like, because the sister's actually barely in this film, the younger daughter.
No, yeah.
But she has one of my favorite shots where the camera just like lands on her, and it's like her in focus, but the rest of the forest is like extremely out of focus, and it's almost like in a day, like a dream. It's like very dreamlike how much out of focus the rest of the shot is. And usually most of Tarkovsky's shots are like everything's in focus. So when you see a shot where all of a sudden like most of it's out of focus, it really stands out. Like he's really emphasizing it basically. It's just beautiful, like all this stuff that happens. And then this is also, I've noticed, a Tarkovsky theme where he loves just like, it's almost a Bressonian thing where just the tears on the cheeks.
Yeah.
He like loves showing that. And almost just like panning across the face while you just see like maybe a tear stream down or 2 tears or something.
Yeah.
It's in Solaris all the time, like and a lot, but it's in this film a lot too, because we see the father like tear up while he's hugging his children after he's come back from war.
Yeah, that was a good shot. I like that scene.
Yeah, and then we get there's another scene where the narrator's arguing with his wife about her basically the guy she's about to marry, where he's like he calls Dostoevsky a hack again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what's going on there. Like I don't think she's actually marrying Dostoevsky, so I don't know why he calls him that. But
It's funny because Tarkovsky loves Dostoevsky so much,
He's like, he's a damn hack at 4 years old or something.
He's a hack.
Yeah. And this is you kind of mentioned earlier how he basically dwells on the image.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were mentioning how she plays with her hair.
Yeah.
The longest shot in this film is actually during this scene where he's talking to her about basically like shitting on their son. Where he's like, oh, our son kind of sucks compared to this other boy who like ran away from his parents because he saw how much of hypocrites they were and stuff. Our son would never do that.
Asian parent stereotype.
Yeah. But like that, apparently this is the longest shot in the film where it just follows her the whole time, where she's like messing with her hair at the window, then she walks and she's like talking about Moses and the burning bush. And she's like, why does this stuff never happen to me?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, just like it's like apparently.
I like the biblical reference there.
Well, the shot of him just standing outside with the burning tree branch right there. So
yeah, it's like basically there's a burning bush right next to the sun right now, like in the window. It's funny. Yeah, and then we get I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna skip. I'm definitely gonna skip some moments.
Well, we're at the part basically where it's color again, and there's like the children in the house with the mother.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
I was gonna mention I was looking at it just now, and I was like, wait. Tree of Life has a very similar shot where it's like a shot in a doorway with like a.
Yes, I know exactly.
This
where she walks through the house and you see the.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yes,
I
yes,
haven't
yes.
seen that movie yet.
This shot I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Oh,
it
yeah.
reminded me a lot of. This
I know
movie.
what you're saying.
Because even that movie has like a house that he's like.
I
always
mean,
in.
honestly, yes. That like this scene, Malik must have thought about this scene because like
Yeah.
literally the poem that they're talking about is like how he always goes back to the same memory, you know, of his childhood.
Yeah.
It's like the same dream he keeps having. And then he's like talks about how it's like the overwhelming joy is clouded by the expectation of waking up, and then he grows sad again. You know.
Yeah.
It's like another one of the father's poems. And then like another, at least the next major scene I have is when they go to the doctor's wife's house where she's trying to sell her earrings.
Yeah.
And I'm almost like I can't say for sure because I went back and watched this scene from Certified Copy. I don't know if you remember Certified Copy at the end. Or it's not at the end, it's when they're in the restaurant where she's like putting on the earrings in the mirror.
Yeah. That's
There's a very similar
yeah.
shot in this one where the doctor's wife is also putting the mirror earrings in like where she's looking at herself in the mirror, you know, where she's like turning her head.
I never even thought about that.
I don't know if Tommy was thinking of it, but I've always thought of the two. And that one also has some similar themes with this one as well. Just like about the husband and wife kind of dynamic and just like mixing fiction and reality too.
Yeah.
You know.
I can see it.
Kiarostami is his own way, of course. But it is a unique scene too. Like, just a lot happens. Like, it has one of the like dreamiest moments with the kid looking up in the mirror. Or it just like zooms in on his face in the mirror, and then it reverse shots to him actually looking at himself in the mirror. You know.
It's got one of my favorite shots where he's just sitting there looking at the lamp and it just slowly goes out.
Yeah.
And then lighting it again.
The lamps are
also
so
amazing.
golden in this.
It's
Like,
so
it's so
good.
glowy and just like warm.
Whenever
you
they
know?
relight it, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's like milk spilled in
Yeah.
one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And then this is maybe my favorite reverse shot in the film is at the very end of the scene where after she kills the cock.
The chicken, basically.
Chicken, yeah. Well, after she kills the chicken off screen, it cuts to her face, and her face is like you can't tell what actually emotion she's like feeling really. Because at the beginning of the scene, the neighbor's like, "Why don't you have Lexi do it?" And she's like, "No, I don't want my son to do it." So she ends up doing it, even though she doesn't want to. And at the very end of the scene, it almost looks like she's mad at her son. Like she almost like gets like an angry face while she's like looking at him. But then when it cuts to the reverse shot, which normally would be a shot of the son in the same present, it cuts to the father in black and white. And that's when it cuts to like another dream, which is like the most insane shot of the film with the floating body.
It's literally a Kubrick stare from her too.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's like she's mad at him for making her do this, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, why'd you leave?
Yes, but then the cut, then it cuts to a reverse shot, not of him in the same room, but then this like dreamlike shot with the father, kind of just
it's just insane.
Just float, almost like slowly turning around in slow motion as his wife is like floating in the air. You know.
Damn.
Just insane. Just like this dove flies by. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they fucking filmed this. I should have looked it up, but it's kind of insane.
They went to space and filmed it.
Yeah, no, it's. And then we get some like another one of my like amazing shot
Wind.
is the wind with the inside the house.
Yeah. Well, there's a black and white house outside the house first.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, with the wind is going.
Yeah,
Already
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then, but inside the house, just like all these curtains, like everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, it made me think of Exiled.
Yeah, just
I
the
don't know
wind
if you-
blowing through the curtains.
Nah, yeah.
When they're all hiding behind
Yeah.
them, and stuff. It's like, what are all these fucking curtains in this room? Like,
I mean,
but it's like, yeah, wind looks fucking cool, you know. And in that John Mark Robinson, I forgot his name. It's John. I think it's John. That book I've been quoting. He mentions how Fellini, when he talked about why he liked Rashomon so much, Fellini said Kurosawa was able to photograph air itself. and he brought that quote up for Tarkovsky as well, where it's like
Yeah.
he's finding ways to photograph air itself, you know,
Yeah.
through how its effects on reality.
You know another movie that
you know?
does that well? The Happening.
I do need to rewatch. I can't tell if you're kidding or not. But
No, The Wind is
Okay.
actually like kind of like the horror villain in that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. I know some people hate that film, and then
Not me and you. Blake on the other hand.
It's
Who is
got
it
maybe the
directed by?
worst acting
Salman.
leads of all time. Like Zoe Deschanel and whoever the guy
It's kind of
was,
funny
I
though.
can't
It's funny
remember,
though. It's funny.
nah.
When he's like talking to the
Wahlberg?
plant.
Is it Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg.
When he's like
Oh my
talking to the
God.
plant. It's so funny.
I'm just saying 9/11 could have been different if I was there.
I only gave it a 3, so I wouldn't say I loved it, but
Oh, the hat. This happened.
Yeah.
The
You gotta do it for the
Shyamalan
With
one.
I'm down.
oh,
Zoe Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg.
I felt like there was another movie, but it was with Nick Cage. Knowing, that's what I'm thinking.
No,
Oh,
I've seen
God.
one too.
Yeah. But that's the thing I loved about Kurosawa. Almost in every movie, he has intense wind scenes
yes. Like he's Tarkovsky was heavily inspired by both of them were like you can tell are inspired by each
bouncing off
other.
each other.
I mean,
but
there's
they
him,
both
all
film
of
nature
them.
so well.
Him,
They-
Ray, and Kurosawa, they
Yeah.
all.
Well, I mean,
have
Kurosawa and Tarkovsky were actually friends.
Yeah.
Like,
They were, yeah.
like Der Suizawa is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Don't you have a shirt with them on? Like,
I do. I have a shirt with those 3. No, actually, it's Antonio.
I love that
It's
movie.
not-
it's
It's not
Antonio.
Tarkovsky.
We have to talk about that movie another time.
No, we haven't talked about Kurosawa
What's-
enough on it.
we
Have we even
haven't.
had it? Have we even
we
done
did. We did
Kurosawa?
Red Beard.
We've done
Yeah,
Redbeard.
we-
I think that's it.
I think that's the only one.
Kind of a random one for us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a film none of us had seen before.
Oh.
Pair with Titan.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well, I think it's like, it's Kurosawa. It's like one of those weird things. It's like, oh, is Blake gonna pick him? Probably
What?
not. At this point.
Yeah, Blake, hurry up.
All of us could pick him.
Come on, you're the one that's most likely to pick him.
Yeah,
Oh
probably.
man, we should do Kurosawa.
It's the Weeb and Blake, you know.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how many Japanese directors I can get on the pod before it's going.
We're
to
all
Kurosawa.
let's be honest, we're all scared of being called too normie, you know. we picked the
Not
real
me,
Japanese
not
directors.
me.
You know, the deep heads ones, Ozu. No.
Ozu.
I picked Altman. I think I'm like safe from that.
bunch of weebs.
I mean, I've done Kitano Obayashi, the Ghibli.
There's one weeb
Ghibli
though. There's like one
guys.
Oh,
prominent.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Trust me,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Just look at who's
Non-plural.
Non-plural.
He's the Blake's the weeb, Luke's the racist. I'm
Wait,
I'm the all-around perfect.
Jay's the misogynist.
Wide-ranging.
Jay's the misogynist.
I'm the only one who's picked a woman director, by the way.
For one episode. Didn't even want to
All
dedicate
right,
the whole
let's
series
move
to
on. Let's
her.
move on. All right, we're basically at the deathbed scene. We're at the deathbed scene basically,
Yeah.
where this is actually Tarkovsky in this bed, as they're like as he's like as the doctor's talking to him and stuff about like what it could be and everything. But yeah, it is interesting. Like just look at the way he throws the bird. And everything.
Yeah. The bird.
There's also a lot of mirrors in this room too, if you notice in the background.
Yeah.
And just like in the way it cuts from this bird, like he throws the bird in the air, then it cuts to the base of this last scene in the movie, which is now we're back at the original location, you know, like how we all started, and just it's kind of like this story is like it's like pure poetry, you know, like where every shot is just like damn, like what is going on here? Because like you know, I said it returns to the same part at the beginning, but in the opening scene we see like the young Maria sitting on the fence.
Mhm.
Now we're seeing the old
Maria. I love that.
sitting on the
part.
bench, but it's the same young kids running up to her. So he's basically combined like these past and futures that we've been seeing, you know.
Kind of like the Tree of Life ending. Now that you say that out loud.
Do they hold hands? I'm trying to remember.
It's just like it's like everyone from his like memory, and it's like he's in this place, like the like beach thing. It's like his mother and his like
Yeah,
and, like
yeah.
they're not aged at all,
yes,
and there's all like collected there.
Yeah, yeah. There's
This motherfucker ain't slick.
this guy, this is word for word, bar for bar. No, it's like just the way the camera pans too through like all this huge open space, you know. It's just gorgeous.
I just
And,
love that like shade of green too.
The
That's
shade
like
of green.
that's like my favorite color basically. That shade of green.
No, green is used amazing in this.
I like that.
He uses green a lot. Like even Solaris, the way it opens.
Oh, yeah.
With that green,
Open
with
the room,
Yeah.
like down.
Also, this is like that loud the Bach playing in the background, you know, because he's combined all these different times. Because we're seeing the young Maria on the
Yes.
grass in the grass with her husband now while they're still married, and he asked her, I think, do you want a boy or a girl? I think that's what he asked her. And then she doesn't answer. She just smiles. You know, she has that long smile in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And then it like turns to Maria walking away with the young kids. You know, in the background. It's insane.
It's a great shot.
It is. And just basically, you know, combining all these times, you know, like the only way film can. Like, yeah, that's Mirror.
That is Mirror. Great movie.
Yeah, amazing movie.
Great film.
And once we take a quick break, we'll come back and talk about The Separation. And we're back from the break to talk about Sean's pick for this week, A Separation. What's his name?
Asghar
Asghar
Farhadi.
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 Just let him say it from now on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna let him say it.
Leave it to him.
So I guess we'll start with you, Sean. Why did you decide to pick A Separation?
So I was originally torn between a Tarkovsky film or Asghar Farhadi film, mainly because I'm going based on simply nostalgia. From about 7 years ago, I was really getting into films with you guys at the time, and for myself, and literature, philosophy, theology, all that fun stuff. It was just arts in general. And I love Far Eastern cultures. I love old cultures. Iran, Iraq, India, etc., China, you know. Those are very, very, very old societies that have endured up to this day. So I think Danny mentioned A Separation once. He watched it before me. And then I was like, oh, cool. And one day I checked it out. And it just stuck with me because, like I said earlier with Tarkovsky's film Mirror, there's depth to simplicity. It's nothing over the top. It's one of those films that covers a particular family, what they're going through, that goes on all the time, every day. And and I'll get to this, you know, should I cover the synopsis of the film?
I mean, you can if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So the film is about two couple, Nadir and Simin, who are so Nadir's a husband, Simon's a wife, but they're planning to get divorced because I forgot what Simon's reason was entirely.
She wants to leave.
She wanted to leave, but
Leave
why?
the country, I think.
Yeah, there was a reason why she wanted to leave the country.
It's like something to do with a war, right?
It could be. Yeah,
Well, I think
it's the politics of the Ayatollah, probably.
Well, that's why it's not specifically said.
It's never said.
The question,
but
I don't know if you remember
it
the first
could be
question
that.
of the movie.
Because she was already gone for a week or so outside of the country. And then she wanted to leave, and she wanted her husband to come with her, and her daughter, of course. But he didn't want to go because his father has Alzheimer's, and he's deteriorating. That's another... So they're torn between that. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. I can't leave my dad. And there's one really strong scene in the movie where she says, does he even know who you are? And he tells her, I know, he may not, but I know that he's my father.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a really strong... I love that dialogue, but that goes on, and then they really don't want to do this to their daughter. They don't want to split her in this, but they kind of give her the option, like, because the dad is good. They're both stubborn. The wife wants to leave. The husband, Nadir, he wants to stay. He has to stay. That's what he feels like. So now what comes into the play is a housemaiden who they hire to take care of his father while he's at work and the wife is at work and while the daughter, Tamer, is at school. And during that time, the housemaid did a good job, but she's also pregnant, so that's another reason why she's working. And her husband just became unemployed. He got fired from his job. Hujat, I think was his name. And the wife, the maid, her name is Regia. I can't remember her name. But basically what happens at one point is that as she was cleaning the house and taking care of things, the father, with Alzheimer's, leaves her sight and she didn't catch it in time. And so she's frantic about, this guy with Alzheimer's wandering the street. She finds him in the street and she tries to get him. Then that kind of cuts to that, then it cuts her to going back, and then Nadir, the main husband, the main character, he comes back and he thinks his money was stolen, but then he notices that his father came home to his father being tied up while the housemaid was gone. Now this is days, we don't know, it could be a few days after the event when the Alzheimer's...
It basically leads to the entire, the entire reason for the movie.
Leads to this big drama of the movie of at this critical moment of the argument, Nadir pushes the housemaiden out of his house or apartment, and we don't see anything after that. And then we find out she had a miscarriage, and the blame was on the fact that he pushed her and she fell down the stairs. Yeah. Then he tries to prove that, and then they were like, did you know she was pregnant? He kept saying no, but in reality, at the end of the day, as it goes on in the film, he did know.
Yes.
But he knows for sure that he didn't push her. Would it make sense for her to fall on the stairs based on the direction, the way the layout of the building is, all this other stuff. So all the characters are very gray.
Yes.
And at one point in the film, Nadir's wife, Sinin, manages to work out something where they can pay blood money for the miscarriage and then just end everything, no legal proceedings, everyone goes on. Plus that family, with the unemployed husband, Hujat, and Rezia, who just lost her baby, could use that money for good. But she didn't want to sign it, she didn't want to swear on the Quran for that because she knows she was hit she tells later on that she was hit by a car while trying to get his dad that one time. And she's convinced that's how the miscarriage happened. So she doesn't want to sin. She doesn't want to bring anything down upon her family, punishment from God, that kind of thing. Not that it would be that literal. I know people would see that and think, oh, these are such superstitious, things. But it's not as simple as that. It could be anything as simple as, oh, hey, my daughter will get, married to the wrong guy later down the road, or she'll get killed, or my husband will die 10 years later. It could be anything simple as that.
Basically like karma.
And you will revert it back to that time when you lied about something. There's a lot of, in my opinion, depth to that. But anyhow, we get to that. She couldn't do it, and the family moves on. And Nadir and his wife Samin, they still proceed with their divorce, but they leave it to their daughter, who she wants to go with, and the daughter wants to say it, but she doesn't want to say it in front of her parents. So then the two parents walk out in the hallway, and they wait in the hallway between two barriers that are separating the hallways, kind of symbolizing their separation, but their connection still, because there's an open doorway, which is their daughter, you can say, kind of represents. There's a lot of poetical moments in this film, but I liked it. That was basically some of the story. It ends there. We don't know who.
That's if we've ever gone through a movie on the podcast.
I mean, yeah, you basically did. We usually do that at the end. You did it at the beginning.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
We'll still go through at some point, just little parts maybe.
But I liked it because it's a simple story, and I love the acting. I love that culture particularly. I love the language, Urdu, Farsi. It's just beautiful to me to hear, and I don't know how to describe it.
That's a good way to describe it.
We'll talk
so Something that I thought whenever I was watching this, it is very simple, like you said. Like, it's a very simple story, and I think that's what makes it, like, a great movie. Like, I did really like this movie. I actually can relate it to, I feel like, a Bresson movie, L'Argent, or L'Argent. Because this movie is basically just following a tale of what happens if you lie. Like, what does one white lie do? Like, what can it spawn, basically? And that's basically what L'Argent is about. It's just, like, it's following the trail of just, like, what was, like, stealing, like, money.
But see, okay, yeah, that's true, because it leads to multiple.
Yeah.
Well,
You know.
and pride, too. Talks about pride.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because both families are very proud.
Because it just leads it...
Both
it leads it into a lot of different... Like, there's a lot of different things you can discuss in this movie if you just open it with, like... It's a simple parable about why you shouldn't lie. It's literally kind of what this movie is to me. Like, this, like... but, like, that's what it is to
that's
me.
where I almost agree with you. I would say just... This is almost a film about why people lie.
Okay.
I wouldn't even necessarily say it's moralizing, like, why you shouldn't lie, you know?
I might just be lie putting on.
Well, yeah,
Well, like, to me, it's more an open, just like, this is why people lie, you know? It's
Yes.
showing, like... It's almost like Renoirian in that
It's
way.
more objective,
Yeah.
It's like an
Well,
objective.
yeah.
And at the
Because-
end, towards the end of the movie, Nader tells his daughter Tamer, because she tells him, like, you lied about this, why? And she's like, why don't you just tell them the truth? And he's like, the law doesn't care. Like, if I tell them the truth now, I'm still going to be locked up. Like, if I told them the truth, that would rob me 3 years of prison from you. Who's going to take care of you if your mother plans to leave? Like, that kind of thing. It's that moral ambiguity they throw in there, and I like that.
No,
Why he lied.
I have a quote from him talking about this film, basically about this ambiguity you talked about. One of my, I always say one of my favorite words in relation to film. And this is what he says about the film, where he says, quote, "I don't think it's important for the audience to know my intention. I'd rather they left the cinema with questions. I believe that the world today needs more questions than answers. Answers prevent you from questioning, from thinking. From the opening scene, I aim to set this up. The film's first question is whether an Iranian child has a better future in his or her own country or abroad. There is no set answer. My wish is that this film will make you yourself ask questions such as these ones." And he talks about how, like he says, the first question of this film is like, because I think that's why she wants to leave, at least in my opinion, is she wants her child to have a better life, to get an education somewhere else. They don't say where they're going, I don't think. But basically, they have a chance for them to actually escape the country in her eyes, for her child to get a better education. But he wants to stay back because, his father.
Yeah.
But basically asking this question of, like, should they go or not? It doesn't answer the question, but it asks it. And then the very last part of the film is another question, which, who is she going to decide? Is she going to stay with which parent? Doesn't answer that question either, And it's funny because, this is just what I do naturally, is, like, when I watch two films that are near each other, just, like, in my own time, like, I compare them. Because it's, I watched this film, and one of the things I noticed the most about it is, like, basically how, like, almost, like, thriller-like it is, for how fast it is. There is, like, a Bressonian efficiency to it, where it's, like, everything is, like, so fat. Like, Bresson's films are, like, slower, I would say, in a way, for how, like, this one, like, once the reveal happens, where the moment happens, everything happens so fast, and it's, like,
it feels like real life in that way.
Yeah, but it feels like almost like a thriller.
Happens.
It feels like a thriller,
No, for sure.
the way it's, like, it makes me feel. And, like, another way was, like, an action film, because we also watched Terminator 2 this Friday. And I was just thinking a lot of things in that one is, like, I'm actually really bored during this. A lot of these films. Where it's like, this is supposed to be an action film, but this is, like, boring to me. Where it's like, this drama that I just watched the day before, it felt more like an action film to me. Like, I think that's a big part of it, is, like, it's asking you questions. It's making your mind have the action, where even if it's not necessarily an action film, like,
The action's
to me
in your
that's
mind.
like, to me that's where an action film, like, that's where I feel, like, the way I'm engaged with it, where it's always asking you all these questions. Like, throughout the film, you're always questioning, like, is this a good guy or not? Is this a bad guy?
Yeah.
For both sides, or is this a good woman, or is she not? Like, it's not giving you the answer of, like, oh, he's right, or she's right at the end of the day, or something like that, and, like, at one point I found another quote where he talks about how basically he calls this film a detective film, but the detective is the audience. And he says it's the audience that is in charge of solving the puzzles and answering questions. So instead of, like, an actual detective in the film doing it,
Treats
like,
the audience with
you're supposed to be
respect.
that detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's trying to figure it out. And then like some of the contrast I noticed in the film is just like in a way this is a lot of social commentary too at the same time. Where yes, it's a personal story, but like he does it on purpose where he's comparing a middle class family to like a lower class family. You know, a guy with a nice middle class job in a bank versus a guy who's unemployed.
I also
kind of desperation
wonder,
that comes with that versus being more secure place in society.
is this guy an immigrant too?
I'm pretty sure.
Because he keeps on saying you always look down people. Yeah, the way you treat us. Like his wording makes me think he's an immigrant.
What do you mean?
Like he's an immigrant to their country that they're in, to Iran.
Like he might have moved from somewhere else, like Iraq or something.
Who, the main guy?
No, the lower class guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well,
because he keeps saying the way you guys treat us.
Well, he says because there are multiple ethnic groups in Iran.
Yeah.
He could be Kurdish. He could be someone from Western Iran, Eastern Iran,
That's
Southern.
true.
He could be right on the borders of Afghanistan for all we
It could just mean like because they're poorer.
It could be that
we're from this part of the neighborhood.
Why? Yeah, because he says that line. Why do you think I beat my wife and children like we're animals
Yes,
or
exactly.
something? It's like we're people like you, and says that. But
I feel like someone from Iran definitely would have understood some of those nuances way more.
a
than we do,
lot more.
You know?
Yeah,
Because I feel like he was getting arrested also because of like I feel like papers and shit. But
well,
I
he
could be
got
wrong.
arrested because he
didn't
lost
pay
his
his
yeah,
creditors.
to the
and he had
creditors,
creditors.
Yeah. But like honestly, even if you don't know all the details, like just the way the two men are contrasted, like he's the calm one,
Yeah.
and then the other guy, he's always
really
erratic. He's
not.
very erratic. Like he says, like I can't control my temper and stuff
Hot
like
temper.
that.
What did Luke? Sorry, Luke. What did you think about it?
So I didn't watch this in the best conditions.
Did you watch it this morning?
Yeah.
Oh man,
After a long night out.
I like it though. I like it.
it's okay. You can be honest.
No,
Don't hurt my feelings.
It's not my favorite movie, but like I like it. I need to revisit obviously when I'm
Yeah.
but I do really like you kind of mentioned someone mentioned the moral ambiguity of the film, and I like that a
Characters. That's the thing I wanted to say. Like when I watch it, I never saw like Nader as like snobbish or Hujat, the poor guy, as like what do you want to call it?
Just a brute.
Yeah, brute. Because I saw this as two people who are literally going through the roughest times of their lives.
No, they're
Because
human,
it brings out the worst. Like,
Yeah.
like for me, I can say personally, like going through the roughest time in my life with my wife and I, having no job until she gets this thing sorted out, until I get this thing sorted out, and this financial stress, it can bring out the worst in you.
Yeah.
And people will just see that and remember that forever.
Yeah.
If you catch them on the bad time, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, what happened? They have a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Worst time for this all to happen.
This is like the worst thing is already like this guy's jobless.
Yeah, he's already
and then
jobless.
something else already happened.
And
that's
then
even
this
worse,
happens.
yeah.
Like, so for me,
You
like
just feel like
I
it
found
was against
myself empathizing
Yes.
with him more.
100%.
Like I didn't feel because he said it many times in the film, or one time at least. He said, "I know I am hot tempered," or
Yes.
something like that.
No, he
and,
does. Yeah.
and he'll admit it, but what can he do? And then there was one point when he drank from the fountain, and his wife Razia comes up to him, and he just tells her, "I don't feel good."
Yeah.
Like, this isn't what he wants to be by nature or by circumstance, but he is, and I think his wife. And I think his wife was being honest when she told the interrogator, or the guy who helps with the legal proceedings, when she told him he's depressed, he doesn't have this, he's not like this, and the interrogator gives them a chance, but all that. Anyhow,
No.
I didn't see that. Like I liked how gray the characters were.
I think he's doing that on purpose. And then another thing, like I already mentioned the two men. But also another big part of this film is the differences between the two women. Because we already talked about like basically how like the caretaker, she's like very religious, obviously.
Very.
And then the other woman,
Sabine.
the wife, she's you can tell more modern. You can say secular.
Secular.
She doesn't concern. That doesn't concern her that
She
much.
reminds me of my wife in many ways. Yeah.
But actually, I think this is even your wife's a good person to bring up, who's like very well educated.
Yeah.
And I'm about to read this quote, but Farhadi talks about how basically most Western people, when they view an Iranian woman, they probably more see the religious woman, you know, the one who's
and a burqa all day.
Exactly. But let me read this quote where he says, quote,
stereotypes.
Exactly. And he says, quote, Western audiences often have a very fragmented image of the Iranian woman, whom they see as being passive, homebound, far from any kind of social activity. Perhaps a certain number of women in Iran do live like that, but for the most part, women are highly present and active in society in a much more forthright manner than men, despite the restrictions they are subjected to. Both kinds of women are present in the film, without either being condemned or proclaimed a heroine. The confrontation between these two women is not that of good versus bad. They are simply two clashing visions of good. And that is where, in my opinion, modern tragedy resides. Conflict sparks between two positive entities, and what I hope is that the viewer will not know whose victory to wish for. Unquote. And I think that's a really good point. Just like, it's not good versus bad. It's like just two, like you said, opposing sides of good. You know, where you can actually see yourself empathizing for both sides.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a tragedy watching that happen. You know, where you don't know who to cheer for. Like,
that's why that end scene was so powerful to me. Well, not the end scene, but near the end, when the maid and the housewife, you know, Regia, couldn't swear on the Quran, and he's like, and he's getting stressed thinking about it. He's like, okay, just do it though. It'll be my sin.
Yes.
Let me carry that burden.
Yes.
It's like we need this money. Yes. We need help.
He's trying to be practical.
And you could see how patient he's trying to be with her. And everyone's thinking like they paint him like oh, he'll beat her or anything. He's not going to do that. Well, you can tell he loves his wife. Yeah. You can tell he loves his
I think one
family.
of the best things about him that you're shown is like whatever that tutor basically kind of like
the tutor
accused him to his daughter of beating his wife.
Yeah, and and she lied too. She said, basically, I didn't talk to your daughter. Yeah. I didn't ask her any of that. And then he's like...
But that's like completely disproven in that scene that you're talking about, because something that made me come around this guy is like he never hits her. He always just hits himself whenever he's frustrated. Like it's all his fault almost.
Because and remember his wife said, "Please," before he even did it, she said, "Please don't hit yourself."
Yes.
And then what did he do? And he's like,
I mean, he's obviously not like he has a lot of anger issues, but there's for a reason. It's definitely a movie about what society has done to these people. It's very kind of good in that way.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like. The social elements in the background, like there's criticisms of the Iranian regime, if you want to read into it, you know, like what's causing them to have these conflicts, like with basically him not being able to find a job, you know.
And there was
even the way the court system works is like so, like
it's crazy.
It's crazy, you know. This guy's just like it's almost like he's a, you know, like a receptionist or something. The way he's like handling court cases of people going to prison, you know.
Yeah. Well, then there was that part where Hujat. Says like I have to ask permission from the guy, you know, to accept his money or something. Then he walks out, and I think his parents are living, because in that part of the world, like family lives with each other forever. Like people don't separate. So I think his father was there, and he's like, "You need to accept that money. Have you seen yourself? You know, not being like me, but like saying like, look at your position. You have no job right now. Your family we need this, you know, that kind of thing." Yeah. I like those subtleties because that's something I've seen, especially in my wife's family. And this is very minor, but there was one word I caught in this film that after watching it again, I'm like, oh, I've never thought of that before. There's one part where both Nadir and Hujat are arguing in front of the interrogator. And and Hujat says something to Nadir, saying like, "What kind of man are you? What kind of human being are you?" And Nadir says, "Eh Baba," which, oh my God, that's the same kind of phrasing my wife and her friends would say to each other. I just thought that was really cool. I'm like, East India, and here we are all the way in Iran. They're using the same slangs and lingo, "Eh Baba," or that. I thought that was funny. Oh my God. Or, roughly translated to that. I don't know, need detail, but
he does have some funny reactions too.
He does.
I love the actor who played Nadir. Yeah. He's such a good actor.
He's like the more calmer one, at least for most of the film.
Yeah, and he did some American films too.
Interesting.
Yeah. He did one with Kristen Stewart years ago. Yeah, I forgot what it was called.
You know how we're doing this with Mirror. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask if you guys saw any connections between the two, because there is a scene, like, the way this film ends that same question is asked to the character in Mirror, where he's like asked to choose between the parents.
Yeah.
You know, where like basically a divorce is a big part of both these films. You know, you can honestly say that's basically the main conflict with this film. You know, even though there is like the push, the miscarriage and stuff, like the film ends on actually the central conflict, which is just this daughter's having to choose between.
Yes.
Basically, you know, I read that quote about the two clashing good sides. You could say that's like when a child has to choose between divorce, which parents or something. That's them having to choose between two good sides. You know, not necessarily like a good and evil side.
Yeah.
You know? Which makes it, you know, more tragic in a way. You know, and I love how he doesn't answer it either.
No, yeah, it just ends there.
It's also very like that crazy shot with the credits. You know, where they're both separated by the door. I think you were talking about
rolling.
it's just rolling.
Kind of representing. But there's that opening there, but it also to me like it resembled. Like, just for me, like, they could just be ordinary people if you don't know who they are. If there was never a movie about them. And down the hallway, there's so many other people. Yeah. Imagine what they're going through. Yeah. They could be going through.
No, honestly, I had that. Because you hear,
intense.
Like, the audio
you hear is a couple arguing,
yes, exactly.
A child crying.
You're like, oh, I wonder what that's about.
It's it's a reminder this is nothing new.
Yeah.
Or like the quote from Ecclesiastes, you know, that Solomon quotes a lot. Nothing is new under the sun. You know, this kind of stuff just happens every day.
I think that's one reason why my first reaction to it was why you shouldn't lie, is because, to me at least, whenever I was watching this, I'm like, this all started just because no one could tell the truth.
And it tells the point, like, from the housemaid's perspective, she was in the wrong because she put this family now into the situation when she could have just said, I got hit by a car and I felt pains that night before this man pushed me out of his apartment when we had a
But see, and that's what I was thinking, because I was also like, that would honestly have probably made him pay the blood money faster. Or just like, it probably would have actually just made him pay it, because it was his dad's fault, technically. I mean, it was no one's fault. Like,
right.
it was just like...
But he should have behaved that way. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This film is full of those, like,
yes,
well, if this had just, he would have done this one thing different.
This one thing differently. It would have just been completely different. But that's life. So.
But, and I think that's the large part, you could say, where it just comes out of control. Yeah.
I was also wanting to mention, I like the handheld camera.
The handheld camera,
because to me, like it feels like documentary at points, and also like it feels like you're kind of like implicated in the middle of it, you know?
Yeah,
like a war zone.
Yeah,
well, you're in the middle of it, but the documentary aspect is you rarely get any shots in this film where the camera's shot, like, let's say if two people are talking, the camera's in between them, cutting back and forth. It's usually on the outside, you know, like. It's filmed through so many little windows and doors and like frames of like people barely, like only half their body seen through it or something. You know, it's like nothing's very.
You're kind of like peering around the corner.
Yes, exactly. Like that documentary. It's not like a.
You're in the house, but you're not in the middle of them.
Yeah.
I think if you asked me what was the similarities between these two movies, honestly, that last title that you had for Mirror is probably it would be a great title for this. Like, why are you so far away? Basically, or whatever that title was. Like, why are you standing so far away?
And they use a lot of elements in this film, especially between Nadir and Samin, where they have shots with them on opposite sides of a window, and it represents that blurred vision between them. That blur, like, do we trust each other? Do we love each other? Are we committed to each other? That kind of thing. It's kind of those things. As a married man myself, like, it hits me more because I watched this when I was, nobody. But now watching it again, I'm like, I can relate a hell of a lot more to that, because there are those moments in life where my wife and I, we have those divisions. We have those blurred lines, especially when it comes to cultural difference, religious differences, and all those things. And it's like, do I even really know who she is? Does she even really know who I am? That kind of thing. And it creates that kind of intensity. And what I like about the two characters is how stubborn they both are. And it reminds me of me and my wife. Like, we're both very stubborn. However, I think if she wanted to, I know she'll probably want to leave this country someday, so I'll go with her. I'm not going to be like, I got to stay here, but if my parents are sick or something like that, I think that would change the dynamic a lot more. I wouldn't know what to do in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like if I found out, hey, my mom is dying, But I know my wife wouldn't. See, that's the other opposite end of the spectrum. Like, just personal. But
that situation...
That's a different scenario, but...
Because the situation in this is... it would be more like if... Because her whole argument is, I only have this visa to leave this country for, 6 months. Like, we have to do this soon, or else we won't be able to leave. So
exactly.
Her whole idea is, if I don't get, And if you're coming from, the idea of... my child can get a better education once we leave Iran, but this is our only chance to do it.
Well, and
versus he's but my dad has Alzheimer's, I can't leave.
Yeah.
That's it's we've been talking about. There's no win-win. There's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
That one scene when he's bathing his father and he breaks down and cries over his dad. That scene guts me really hard. Because
there's even makes you think about little moments where he's like. Because remember, he says the dad has just stopped talking now.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I liked what little.
She's like, he barely said anything before, exactly. And then he's like, but I liked it.
Yeah, but the few words he did say, I liked, basically, or I loved the few words he did say.
Yeah, and
that's a big deal,
That's a huge deal for him. Exactly.
Because there's a lot of little moments like that too throughout the film. Even with the central daughter, which is actually another relation to Mirror. That's actually Asghar Farhadi's real daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who plays the daughter.
Yeah, I read about that. Yeah, because her last name is Farhadi.
Yeah.
I forgot her actual name. She was born in '98. I can't remember. But she was just great in that movie, and I didn't know that until yesterday or things.
Yeah,
I was researching about the cast, and I was like. Her last name's Farhadi, and I was like,
but I think it makes the film
almost
mirror, it makes you think about it more autobiographical in a way, because some of the most central conflicts in the film is the pressure he puts on her to lie for him.
Well, and that's the thing that's shitty to me is, I found myself in that situation. Why are we putting all these decisions on the daughter?
Yes.
That's horrible to me.
It is.
But I'm like,
but that's the divorce question,
that's the divorce because none of the parents are compromised.
Yeah.
None of them, and that's a shitty thing, and it's. But they played it so well, made it entertaining.
But I like that's another thing about the film. I like how she's actually smart too.
Oh, very.
Most.
Because
that's one of my biggest problems
there was one part at when he. Refused to pay the blood money, and the mom was saying getting all upset and everything. They were trying to leave, and the mom left, and she was telling her father she was gonna stay here with us. I saw her bags in the car and everything. If you had just accepted, she would have stayed, and then that would mean he would have to say he knew that that other lady was pregnant, and then he told her. At the end, Tameh, tell your mom. No, Tameh, if you think I am guilty, tell your mom we'll pay the money and all that. And he was thinking that she would tell her mom they've all come inside, but the daughter actually just went to the mom's car and they just drove off. And then you could kind of see it, but he kind of smiled a bit, thinking, my daughter believes in me more than...
You could tell that's a big deal to him.
That's a big deal to him.
She doesn't think he's a bad guy.
She doesn't think she's a bad man.
But that's still the pressure, because then she has to lie for him later on.
It's so tragic, but I love it.
Yeah.
To me, it's
in reality, he did know that she's pregnant, but he is... telling the truth that he didn't kill the kid. He didn't.
Well, and I think he was telling the truth.
I mean, he didn't.
Well, but at the time, he doesn't know about the car wreck.
Yes, exactly.
So it's he might. It's he knows the consequences if he admits that truth of I did push her.
Well, and the part when he pushed her, and what did he say? He said, at that moment, I wasn't thinking of her being pregnant. Because he only heard it in an overhear.
Well, he's been lying about that part, too.
Oh, was he?
Remember about lying, about overhearing.
I think that's more just based on human nature. You just saw your dad tied up. You just saw her come home.
You're angry.
You're angry. You're not thinking of anything. You're thinking, why'd you do this to my
Why'd
father?
you
get out of my house, basically.
And you stole money, which
it's just the heat of the moment thing, which is that's one of the moments where he obviously loses his cool and acts more like you could say her husband's supposed to act in air quotes in the movie. But
the little girl of the housemaid was so cute. My God,
yeah.
She's also kind of an important part in the movie,
very.
because she's the only one that tells the truth.
Well,
so.
and I think that,
and they're also like the two kids are the ones telling the truth in a way. You know,
and that's kind of like the core thing of the movie is that children should not be treated as like, oh, you don't know anything. You know, you're just a baby. No, they pick up on things fast, really fast. For like when friends I used to hang out with, and you know, they have 2-year-old, 5-year-old kids in the house, and they're listening to, you know, music that has vulgarity in it. All right. Thinking it's no big deal, and in my mind, I'm thinking they're gonna pick up on this, dude. Like, don't be dumb. They'll learn.
And then the mind is impressionable.
Yeah, and it's very impressionable. Like, you gotta not saying hide things from your kids, but don't think they won't notice. That's what I'm trying to say. And
because now that I'm thinking about it, even like we said, the father already has the daughter to lie. But on the other side, the caretaker also has her daughter to lie early on, where she's like, "Don't tell your father about me helping this older man take a bath," you know, because she knows he's going to get really mad if all this was
because
happening.
he wetted himself. And
exactly.
And she had to call the local. I forgot the exact word for their rank. It's not a priest, but it's something similar to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where it's like, is it a sin if I do this? And he was like, no.
And that kind of takes me to the ending of the film. Another thing I wanted to mention is maybe the closest the film comes to what Blake was talking about of maybe like saying that line is actually bad is like it. You could say this is almost like he sees as a positive light of religion where it makes her tell the truth even when it like everything in a practical reality is telling her you should just lie in this moment and don't tell anyone about the car wreck or anything, right? Because this basically solves her whole situation. You know, you get money, you don't have to go to court, it helps with the bills, and then she's like, no, I just can't do it because I know, like, she basically believes in a spiritual reality where, like, what you talked about earlier with karma and everything, like, if I do this, I will be affected sometime in the future, you know. And that's what stops her. So, but that is seen as a good moment, you know, where like she's actually going to do that.
Well, there's that, and since Islamic is based on Abrahamic traditions, is that old saying, "Be sure your sins will find you out." That I think that's like the core thing that makes people scared. Like for me, I certainly do. Like any bad things I've done in the past, I wonder, will it catch up to me someday? If I keep doing it, you know, if I keep lying, if I keep doing this or that, will it catch up to me and then all hell breaks loose? There's a reason for such things, you know, they didn't just sprung up to just scare people. Yeah. Because it does. Yeah. If you keep doing the same stupid stuff.
Well, at least, especially with, like, the more religious understanding of the world is, like, that's definitely a huge part of that, of the belief, right? But you could say, like, if you say the other husband, the more modern husband, the secular, you could say he doesn't see it as bad, lying as bad. You know,
no.
He's willing to lie to help him get away with it.
Yeah,
because he knows how it'll sound.
Because he went to a college.
Who knows? We don't get all of that, but
we
like,
don't
that's
know.
what you could read into it because of how religious she is. You know, from her perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you guys have anything else from the movie?
I feel like we covered.
I think we covered most of it.
So. Asghar Farhadi is a very good director. I really enjoy his works. Definitely check him out. His other films, like All About Ellie. There's one with Javier Bardem and what's his wife's name? Javier Bardem's wife.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, they both acted in a movie.
He's married to Penelope Cruz?
I forgot what it's called.
The Salesman?
No, that's a
very popular one.
That's a very The Hero.
A Hero About Ellie.
There's another one.
Everybody Knows.
Everybody Knows. That's the one with Javier Bardem. I love that movie a lot too.
It's a young Harvey.
I watched that one in India for the first time. That was a good movie to watch. I was like jet lagged. I couldn't sleep. Everyone else in my in-laws' home are asleep, but I was up and I saw it. I'm like, and I knew who the director was. I'm like, and it's Javier Bardem. I like Javier Bardem.
It's true.
And I was like, and it was such a good. But with Iranian history and the people, some of the most, probably the most beautiful people on earth, in my opinion. I just love their culture, their aesthetics, all that fun stuff.
I mean, you say it. I forgot to mention the actress of the wife of the modern wife. She kind of looks like Ingrid Bergman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she does kind of, honestly.
Well, and
in Europa 51.
Yeah.
Especially when, like, cause,
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
well, and I like that they got her because of her red head. Because so many people don't think in that part of the world, oh, it's not only an Irish thing. I'm like, shut up, dude.
The Irish own the
You can find people out. There's literally a tribe out in Afghanistan. I forgot what they're called. Predominantly pale skin, red hair, blue eyes. You know, they're it's not like it defeats that stereotype, gets rid of that stereotype for me in this film, especially if people are any remotely truly interested in the Iranian people and people in just in that part of the world. It's so much more complex than simple dividers. It's very, very complex.
Tell that to the United States of America.
Oh yeah, they don't know shit. We don't know
Who
shit.
chopped up the entire world
Yeah,
after World War II, Dick.
But anyhow,
Britain too.
Britain, yeah.
Britain too, yeah.
Just
I
the
mean,
West in general.
all Indians are the same. Chinese are Chinese.
I mean, we're literally the cause of what was the bad war Uzbekistan in the 90s? No, Yugoslavia.
Oh,
We literally like basically caused that massacre because of what we did.
Well, but Clinton, and also it was actually, you can point it back further to after World War One, when we created Woodrow Wilson and some English and French guys. All we did is carve up maps and say, well, you're all the same. Oh, Bosnians, Bosnian Muslims, Serbians, Croatians, yeah, you're all the same. Yugoslavia, no big deal, right? And then what happens in the 90s? They all butchered each other. That you can't. That's anyhow. That's a different story.
Well, I mean, just to relate to the movie, maybe is.
But it's
you get all that in the background of this film.
Well, and it's the same in Russia. Like we're going back to Tarkovsky. Like Russia has so many different ethnic groups of people. You know, not everybody's all. Not everyone.
But we all know they all drink vodka, right?
Yeah, we all know they drink vodka. Yeah, but
and they're all sad.
All sad. Harsh realities.
Yes.
But anyways,
but yeah, that was a good episode this week. Thanks for being on, Sean.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Have you more.
Yeah.
Appreciate you letting me blab. I appreciate that.
Always, man. Always. What are we doing next week?
To be decided.
It's in the episode description.
Is it? Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
But yeah, fun episode this week. Until next week, we hope to see you floating through the clouds.
Thank you.